And good morning. Welcome to the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Thanks for being with us on this Tuesday. Back in the saddle. Yeah, first day of the month, brand new month, day number 131 of our Fun and Frolic. And we welcome you and thank you for being with us here again on this Tuesday, September the 1st. All kinds of things to talk about. We just got done shooting a brand new coaches show. Now, we are now shooting 3 coaches shows a week. We are shooting the Stacey Carter coaches show, and from Science Hill Football, of course, the Graham Clark coaches show from Dobbins Minute. And we just picked up this week and just got back finishing shooting the Sean Whitten coaches show from Elizabethton. So we'll have these up every day, every week. I should say Wednesdays at noon. And you can go to the YouTube and simply find them by typing in the coach's name, Sean Whitten with Shean Witten. Also Graham Clark and also Stacey Carter. Those will be ready to go tomorrow. And we do that every week and just got done getting back from Elizabeth and into the studio ready to go here. Lots going on, obviously. A big weekend of college football getting ready to crank up. The big Orange play, of course, on Saturday against Bowling Green. Also, you've got, of course, ETSU. They continue to sell tickets. They're selling them up. I mean, they're finding ways to put bodies in that facility on Thursday night against Kennesaw State. It's going to be a huge football night. Coming back after 12 years. We're going to be talking to some folks from ETSU tomorrow about the game. And so very excited about that. And so lots going on in the sporting world, needless to say. High school football gearing back up. Science Hill on the road this week against Bradley Central. We'll tell you more about that coming up in a few moments. And a new football polls out this week. Some changes involving our local teams, the high school football polls in Tennessee. And so we'll have that for you coming up as well. Also got guests lined up today. We're going to check in with some folks from Milligan College on our weekly adventure with the Land of the Buffaloes. Also going to be talking a little bit later on in the show to Sam Jones. Now, not this weekend, but next weekend. If you like fireworks, as they say back home, there's a fireworks convention coming to town. In fact, next Friday and Saturday night at the Dragway, Bristol Dragway, going to be a huge fireworks show. I'm going to let him tell you all about it, but there's several companies, firework companies coming to town, and they're going to put on one big giant fireworks show. And it's like nothing the Tri-Cities has ever seen. It's next weekend, the 11th and the 12th, next Friday and Saturday. Of course, we're going to be doing a ball game next Friday night, but anyway, it's going to give you a chance to be at the Dragway. I'd love to be there. Love me some fireworks, but we'll just have to let you all enjoy it. We'll try and get up there next Saturday. But Sam Jones will be there, or be here, and he'll be there as well talking about that. And so we'll do that coming up again a little bit later on in the show. Also, our buddy Bob from Book Lovers Warehouse got some good things going on there, one of our great sponsors, and we'll have him on coming up here in a few minutes. All right, let's get it started. We got to address Tom Brady. He's in the news again. It just won't go away. Michael McCanner, they're a legal analyst for Sports Illustrated and the director of the Sports and Entertainment Law Institute at New Hampshire. I don't know why we've tapped him for expertise, but we have. Said in an interview with some folks yesterday, he believes Brady will play in the Patriots season opener against the Steelers. Why would he not? I mean, they're not going to come to a decision. They tried it again yesterday and nothing happened. So chances of Brady will play in the season opener are very, very good. Certainly not a done deal, but more probable than not he'll play in the first game. Of course he will. He's going to play. You're innocent in this country until proven guilty. So until it's resolved, he will be, and even though everything's out there that we've talked about over and over and over, he is still, he's going to play. And why would he not? That'll be coming up in a couple of weeks with the season opener against the Steelers. Judge Richard Berman of the United States District Court for the Southern District of New York expected to reach a decision soon in Brady and NFLPA's case against the NFL in the Deflategate saga. It is, however, important to note that Judge Berman's ruling is not being determined of Brady's guilt or innocence in Deflategate. It's about procedure. So if he upholds the arbitration award, which is Goodell's upholding of the suspension, it merely means that A, he found that the NFL's procedures in administering Brady's appeal of his 4-game suspension met the standards of fairness, or B, and then he's going to uphold it and say you got to sit out 4 games, or B, he lent extreme deference to Roger Goodell's decision as the arbitrator of Brady's appeal, as case law instructs him to do, and collectively bargained arbitrations such as Brady's. And so if he vacates that arbitration award, it merely means he found the NFL's procedure in administering the appeal to be unfair. So all that gobbledygook comes down to 2 things. If he upholds what Goodell said, and he said, you're right, and how you handled it, everything's good, we uphold the suspension. Or B, you didn't handle it right, didn't do what you're supposed to do, and so now we got to wipe the slate clean, and I'm going to rule in favor of Brady. Now, it's already been determined that if Brady, in fact, loses this, he's going to sue him for defamation of character and libel, and it's been implied but not stated that he will go out on the limb and do that if in fact, he doesn't get what he wants. But for right now, bottom line is Tom Brady's going to be playing in the season opener against the Pittsburgh Steelers until Judge Berman rules one way or the other. Agree with it, don't agree with it, that's just the way it is. So he's in, and this legal counsel gentleman said, I definitely think he'll be there. So we look to see Tom Brady back there running the football team for the New England Patriots when they open up with the Steelers coming up in a couple of weeks. What else is going on? College football, Florida State. A couple of schools have named their quarterback after some preseason fall campaign suspense and dilemma. Georgia naming Grayson Lambert, the transfer from Virginia, to be their starting quarterback against Louisiana Monroe coming up. He'll be the man. Mark Richt has said the Bulldogs make platoon, but for now we're going to start. Got to have somebody out there to start the games. We'll start Grayson Lambert. And so he is in. Florida State has made it official, announcing Notre Dame transfer Everett Golson as the starter for Week 1. He'll make his Florida State debut in Tallahassee against Texas State on Saturday night. So Golson's going to be your QB, the transfer from Notre Dame for the Seminoles of Florida State. And Grayson Lambert, the transfer from Virginia, will be the man behind or under center with the Georgia Bulldogs when they take on Louisiana Monroe in their opening game as well. What else going on in sports? Good morning to you again. It's the Tom Taylor Sports Show brought to you by Bracken Asphalt Maintenance and Bracken Paving. Center Street Wealth Management Group, I should say. The Wells Fargo guys have Tim Colvin and Jeff Bedford and of course, Natalie Woods, and which would be the young lady, obviously, my buddy Greg Taylor. We appreciate them very much. Base Mountain Park, our buddy Rob Cole on vacation this week. Max Medicine Mart, make tracks to Max You Do, a brand new supplement on sale starting today, 20% off. My man Gator, Cherokee Barbershop. Hello, Gator. Hope you're doing well today. We'll talk about Gator coming up in a little while. Larry Kaiser, Nationwide Insurance with a thought for the day. Book Lovers Warehouse, he'll join us coming up here in about 20 minutes. Bristol Orthotics and Prosthetics, Champion Chevrolet on the Bristol Highway Motor Mile. Also, Blue Lizard, Australian Sunscreen, Chick-fil-A, and the crossings in North Johnson City, Kingsport Cabinetry, Jim Klein Farmers Insurance, American Import and Auto Repair, and by the Bristol Dragway and Speedway. So those are the folks bringing you the show here. And again, we had a little glitch yesterday. We apologize, but we're here today, and we thank you for being with us. Again, 3 coaches shows we tape now every week. YouTube is where you'll find them. Wednesdays at noon. Sean Whitten Coaches Show. I'm going to tell you, I spent, hour with Sean Whitten today. I like that guy. That guy is good. He's a class act. He's a heck of a coach. And, I'm tickled to be over there bringing you the Elizabeth and Cyclone Football Coaches Show every Wednesday at noon. So, shot that one today. We recorded and taped yesterday morning Stacy Carter's show from the Science Hill Hilltopper coach, getting ready to head off to Bradley Central, where we will be Friday night, bringing you the broadcast back here on these internet waves. And so we have Stacy's show in the can, and also tonight we'll tape the Graham Clark Coaches Show. We do that from Big E's Clam Bar on Stone Drive in Kingsport. So we'll be there tonight shooting his show, and it'll be ready tomorrow thanks to Robert Kell and his production company. So we're very excited about it, and so we appreciate you giving us a listen. Had a lot of hits on the shows last week, and so, of course, Sean, this will be his first show of the season. We were there with him last year, so we're back this year with Sean Whitten. And what a coach and what a game they played. And here's the fallacy, and we're going to get into this here in a few minutes, the fallacy of the high school football rankings. Now, this is why it doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know who you get to pick them, but if it's left up to us, the media, we're not doing it right because, case in point, Elizabethton fifth in the state last week in 3A football. They played up 3 classes to go play Science Hill, who were ranked in the state number 6 in 6A football, right? They take them down to the wire on their home field on opening night, 3 classes up. It's 21-21 late in the ball game. Science Hill wins at 28-21. Elizabethton's driving for the winning touchdown and came up short, lost the game. As a result of playing the number 6 team down to the wire on their home field and playing up 3 classes, new polls out this week, Elizabethton drops 3 because they lost. Okay, how about strength of schedule? How about who you lost to? 28-21 to the 6A, back-to-back conference champion state quarterfinal appearance team last year. But it is what it is. So the Cyclones actually dropped to number 8 this week. Talked to Coach Witten about it. Said, it is what it is. Where we are at the end of the season is what matters. So anyway, get a chance to see that show. Check it out. YouTube, Sean Witten Coaches Show. YouTube, Stacy Carter's Coaches Show. And YouTube, Graham Clark's Coaches Show. That's every Wednesday at noon. It comes out with a new show and stays up there infinitely. So you can go in there and check it out as often as you want. We'll talk about the polls coming up here in a little while because there are some movement. There is some movement this week in the high school football polls. It's the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Thanks for being with us again on this Tuesday, September the 1st, brand new month. College football gearing up. We've been waiting for this all summer. We've talked and talked and talked, and so now it's here. Of course, Tennessee takes on Bowling Green on Saturday in Nashville. Again, East Tennessee State on Thursday night takes on Kennesaw State, again at Kermit Tipton Stadium, Steve Spurrier Field. And there is a buzz in Johnson City. There's a buzz in and around that facility already. In fact, we were there last night watching the JV team play at Science Hill. And, there was already folks in there, ETSU kind of beginning to work a little bit, putting things together. They're expecting a huge crowd. In fact, they're now selling or talking about selling tickets just to stand on the bank in behind the stadium. And they're also talking about putting some bleachers up on the baseball field there on the field house end of the complex to look down on the field, which would be a pretty good perch to watch the game, actually. So you'll have a direct line of the scoreboard down to the other end of the field, so it wouldn't be a bad place to watch a game. But that's what they're working on, and so they're selling tickets and popping popcorn, going to get ready for the Bucks and Kennesaw State. Again, Kennesaw State's first game ever. The Bucks coming back after a 12-year hiatus, and so it's going to be a lot of fun coming up Thursday night of this week, 2 nights from now. First game in 12 years for ETSU Buccaneer football. Good morning to you. It's the Tom Taylor Sports Show. We've got our buddy Richard Isaacs going to do the quiz show coming up tomorrow. The Apester will be back in the saddle with going down. I just got that feeling this week. I'll say that every week, and she'll probably send me a text if Tom, it's been 8 months or however long we've been blowing smoke, which I've never won. But I just, every now and then the hog's going to fire an acorn, and at some point I'm going to win this thing. And, I think it's going to be this week. So we'll do that coming up here a little bit later on with Richard Isaacs on the quiz show. And tomorrow we'll do the young lady known as the Apester and her quiz show questions sent to Tom Wyman by her because she won't get on the radio or get on the internet, rather. So anyway, that's what's coming up tomorrow. Today we got Richard Isaacs with the quiz show. All right. Here's my boys making the news. Get rid of that gum. Here's my boy making the news. The Raiders in the news. This is how stupid they are. This is my team. I can talk about them. Matter of fact, here is I don't know if you can see that. Can you see? No, you can't see it. Let me see if I can put it right here. And you can see the Super Bowl banner up there behind me. And I don't guess you can see it very well. I'm not real good at trying to figure out. I could never be a weatherman trying to point at Montana and be Mississippi trying to do the weather. Anyway, it's the Raiders Cup, so I'm trying to tell you. My boys lost on Sunday night, 30-23 to the Arizona Cardinals. Well, you got to trim down your players by 4 o'clock today. Trim your roster down to 75 players, and that's an NFL rule. It's not just for the Raiders. That's everybody in the league. And so they signed Trent Richardson. Remember this guy came over from the Colts, big Alabama football star, had a pretty good career for Bama. Went to the Colts, didn't do much there. They traded him. Raiders picked him up in the offseason. Well, the Raiders, like all NFL teams, have until 4 o'clock today to trim the roster down to 75. Richardson hasn't done much in preseason. He's carried the ball 15 times for 42 yards. Not exactly a world beater, less than 3 yards a carry, which I could do that, and I can't play. Showed up at training camp slightly overweight. Seems like things only went downhill from there. Jack Del Rio, the Raiders coach, said we're going to let him go. But here's the caveat of the whole thing. Richardson's leaving Oakland, but he won't be leaving empty-handed. They signed him in March. They guaranteed him. This is how stupid the Raiders are, and they're stupid. That's my team, but they're stupid. Running back signed back in March. The Raiders gave him guaranteed money and a 2-year contract of $600,000. Now, the rule states they got to give him that money. I don't know how much of that he has spent or they've paid in payroll. See, March, April, May, June, July, August, 5 months worth. I don't know he's getting paid a month, but it won't be the total $600,000. But he'll have enough to go to Food City and get him some Diet Dew and some apples and whatever he wants to get over there at the old grocery store. So that's how stupid the Raiders are. They signed this guy, guaranteed $200,000 or $600,000 2-year contract. Going to let him go because he's not getting her done. And they got to pay him as he walks away. They've cut him. And, of course, if he goes to another team, he still gets that money. And if you go back, harken back to Jamarcus Russell, the LSU quarterback that was a big bust a couple of years ago. I think they guaranteed him $12 million. I don't know if you've read the story, but he has run through that money. He's completely, in fact, last time I read, he was homeless or nearly homeless down in Louisiana. He ran through all that money. I don't know how he run through $12 million, but he did. Anyway, this guy is going to get paid $600,000 to get cut from the team, and he's guaranteed to get the money, or he sues them. So Raiders have more money than they have sense, apparently. And so Trent Richardson's out, and there'll be more cuts today, and we'll talk more about that tomorrow because some of the big names will get cut as they begin to trim the rosters and get ready for the start of the NFL regular season coming up in the very, very near future. Good morning to you. 131st day of the Tom Taylor Sports Show. We thank you for being with us. And, again, we look at all the different things happening. Another NFL note, former Virginia Tech quarterback Tyrod Taylor is going to be the starting quarterback for the Buffalo Bills. He's earned his way to be there. So that's another NFL kind of news story here this morning. And a lot of things going on getting cranked up for this college and pro football season. Of course, college football cranks up very, very soon. We mentioned the quarterbacks. We got two more named here this morning. You've got for Michigan, they're undecided their quarterback on the latest depth chart, so they don't have a decision in Michigan yet. LSU names Brandon Harris his starting quarterback for his opener for Les Miles, who went to the hospital on Monday. Miles, the head coach, feeling a little puny there in the coach's office. He drove himself to the hospital. They ran some tests on him. He's okay. Was back in practice that afternoon, but the old boy's pretty tough. He said, feeling kind of puny, I'm going to drive myself to the game, to the hospital. And he did, and he's back. But after weeks of speculation, Les Miles, made an official announcement regarding his starting quarterback. As expected, Brandon Harris will start in the center for the Tigers in Week 1 against Cream Puff, McNeese State. Quarterback was one of the big issues for LSU back last year. Anthony Jenkins started most of the games last year. He struggled. Harris played in 8 games, threw for 452 yards, 6 touchdowns, and a couple of INTs while completing 56% of his passes. So Harris beat out Jennings for the job in the offseason. And so starting on Saturday will be Brandon Harris, the starting quarterback for the LSU Bayou Bengals, LSU Tigers, as they say. And so he'll be the man over or under center when they crank it up. What else going on in more college football news? You also have word out of Ohio State, the defending national champion, who's going to be their starting quarterback. What's been announced that Urban Meyers wants both quarterbacks involved in the play, and that would be J.T. Barnett and Cardell Jones. I won't get on this soapbox for about the 4th or 5th time here this season. I still don't understand. I don't know what his reasoning is. I'm not Urban Meyer. Don't pretend to be. He's got a national championship. I'm sitting in East Tennessee doing a sports show, so I think he trumps for the most part. But okay, let's go down through this scenario again in case you're not aware of what happened last year. They go through, 3, 4 quarterbacks. First 3 got hurt. Then they bring in this kid named Cardell Jones. Cardell Jones leads them to a national championship. Now, that is what you want in the event somebody goes down and gets hurt. The next guy needs to step up and perform. He did, but he got hurt. Next guy steps up and perform. He got hurt. Then they bring in Jones. He steps up and leads them to a national championship. Now, if someone did that where you work and, Joe Schmo quit and Jimbo quit and so-and-so quit or they got sick or they're not there anymore and you keep bumping people up and the last guy you bring up gets it done for you and performs, obviously, above and beyond the call of duty, let him to a national championship. Again, to me, it's a no-brainer. There's been a quarterback controversy all fall camp in Columbus and Buckeye Land. I don't get it. I mean, my guy's Cardell Jones, period, end of story. He's the one that did it. He's the one that led him to the promised land, and, he's my starting quarterback. But obviously, I'm not Urban Meyer, and obviously I don't get it. But a few weeks ago, both Barrett and Jones told reporters they would prefer one player to be the starter at the end of the competition. Barrett, who, by the way, had to rotate series by series in high school, he played a series. His counterpart played a series. Said a rotation would be ideal because the two wouldn't have the same rhythm or efficiency. Jones doesn't think it would be a great idea, but willing to adjust if Coach Meyer wants to use both quarterbacks, which apparently that's what he wants to do. So, anyway, that's what's going on in Columbus. It looks like he's going to use them both. And, from a rhythm standpoint, again, you go back to a job scenario. I'm your boss for, pick it for 2 weeks, or maybe let's go a week at a time. I'm your boss. You get used to me and my personality and the way I do things, and then you look up and next week you've got XYZ guy being your boss, and it's totally different person, totally different personality, and you get settled in with him, let's say 2 weeks at a time. You get settled in with him for 2 weeks, and then boom, you come right back and you come back to me. And there's just kind of a topsy-turvy, and it just, I don't think it's good for consistency, whether it's a football team or, all right, let's take another case. Let's say take a teacher who, this is a total off-the-wall scenario, but a teacher who, gets pregnant, takes maternity leave. All right? She's there for the first part of the school year. She leaves to have the baby, and they bring in XYZ substitute. Totally different person, totally different way of doing things. She's not a substitute. She's going to run the show, or he's going to run the show till said teacher comes back. You get used to that person's style. Then the teacher comes back who had the child, was out on baby leave, and now you go back to the old teacher, and it's an adjustment, it's a learning curve. Well, this is happening within the context of a football game. One series is Barrett, and the other one is Jones. So, and not just at Ohio State. I think anywhere when you have different rotating quarterbacks, and you could totally disagree, and you're entitled to do that. When you're platooning, I just think it sets up for a lot of inconsistency and a lot of rhythm problems, because you're just used to this one guy and you switch off to another guy. But anyway, they didn't ask me. Barrett and Jones will be involved in both for the Ohio State Buckeyes. They'll be in Blacksburg next week for the game of the century. In fact, some are saying in Blacksburg this is the biggest game ever in the history of the school. The number one team in the country coming there to play the Virginia Tech Hokies. Tickets are at a premium, to say the least, in Blacksburg. So anyway, that's what's going on, and that's what's happening in college football for now. We say good morning to you. Thanks for being with us. Going to take a break. Come right back. We got more to talk about. We'll get it started with our good friends from Bristol Orthotics and Prosthetics. Right back with more as we say good morning to you on this Tuesday on the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
At Bristol Orthotics and Prosthetics, they treat thousands of patients each year dealing with diabetes and its effects. Diabetes overtaking our nation and leaving a path of destruction behind. Through wound care, office visits, and preventive care, they see most of the patients after a problem arises. Using diabetic footwear such as shoes and inserts, a great way to prevent or prolong skin breakdown and amputation. At Bristol Orthotics and Prosthetics, they use only custom molds from patient mold inserts, which further ensure a great recovery, or better yet, prevents a wound from happening. They use custom molded shoes, bracing, custom inserts, and extra depth diabetic shoes to prevent wounds or other skin issues from beginning. Call today, 1-800-524-4447. 39 years, 6 locations, 1 family. Bristol Orthotics and Prosthetics, 1-800-524-4447.
It's Friday night at 7 o'clock. You've been involved in a car accident. You may be out of state on vacation or just a few miles from home. What do? Who do you call? At Farmers Insurance Group, one call is all you have to make. Hello, this is Jim Klein, an agent with Farmers Insurance. It's called One and Done. You don't have to wait till Monday morning to file a claim. You can make the initial call, and we'll begin right away to help you. We assist you in moving the vehicle to a certified repair shop, getting you set up with rental car, and informing your agent. Then here are the staff at Jim Klein Farmers Insurance. We follow the claim through to the end. It's that easy. One and Done. We're your one and done location for all your insurance needs. Auto, home, life, commercial, workers' comp, and bonds. We can help you with all your insurance needs. Give me a call today, Jim Klein Farmers Insurance at 247-5400, your one and done location in Kingsport, 247-5400.
From the driveways where your kids play basketball and ride their bicycles, to the parking lots at your local church or grocery store, Bracken Paving is an important part of many neighborhoods in our area. No matter how large or how small the job, Bracken strives for excellence in every service they provide. It's a foundation for a strong community. Discover the difference at Bracken Paving and Asphalt Maintenance. Give us a call or visit us online at brackenpaving.com.
Your life is always changing. You never know what shape it will take, or how your financial needs might change. But if we talk about your investments and how they can provide for you and your family, the future becomes clear. At Wells Fargo Advisors, we believe conversation leads to financial clarity. Let's start a conversation today.
Tom Dillon Sports Show. Thanks for being with us again on this Tuesday, September the 1st. Coming up, we're going to be talking about Poppy, David Ortiz, Boston Red Sox slugger. We'll do that coming up here.
Good morning.
There he is, our buddy Bob from Book Lovers Warehouse in Johnson City. Good morning, sir. How you doing?
Oh, great. I heard it's getting warmer, so I'll wait until it gets cooler before I go outside.
There you go. Well, you're going to wait a while because it's going to be warm and muggy and here in late August, or now we're into September, late summer. So, hey, let's talk about, you were telling me yesterday you got 200 magazines and guitars just came in. Tell me about that.
Yeah, there's about, I'd say about 3 guitar magazines being published in the last 5-6 years. And I got them from a guy who had been collecting them, and I got a good deal on them. And I checked the price. The newsstand price is $7.99 to $9.99 each, but I'm going to sell them for $2.99. And some of them are about solo guitar players. There's some about electric guitars, acoustical guitars, and it's just a really interesting group of magazines. I've never gotten it. I've been there for 12 years, and I've never gotten this kind of a thing come in the store like that. And since everybody plays guitars, this is it'd be worthwhile if you're a guitar person to come on in and see what we got, and you might find something really interesting in there.
We're talking to Bob from Book Lovers Warehouse in Johnson City. A great place to shop. Again, it's a used bookstore right beside Harbor Freight Tools. And Bob, let's talk about some of the other things going on in the store. What are folks been in there getting the last couple of weeks?
I'm sorry, I was turning up the volume. What did you say?
I said, what are folks been in there getting the last couple of weeks?
We've been getting a lot of books for homeschoolers. I had some people come in looking for textbooks. Normally we sell just a lot of mystery, a lot of sci-fi, a lot of fantasy, a lot of romance. But I think people are talking things about going back to school and getting their kids prepared. And what's neat about the store is if you're a nursing student, for instance, I've got some nursing books in there that are 5 or 6 years old that would sell in the $300 range. And we've got them for, I think, $4.99 each, and they're just huge, well-developed, gorgeous books. And it's just the type of thing, if you're a nursing student or if you're a college student and you want something to help you with your grades, come in and see what we got. What people pay in college nowadays for general textbooks are just terrible. Anyway, you'll find something really good that might help you get better grades. And a lot of sciences don't change much. So you can get new angles or you can get the same angles on certain things you're studying. So a lot of textbooks right now, a lot of children's back-to-school stuff, a lot of homeschool stuff has been the unusual slant for the last month.
We're talking to Bob from Book Lovers Warehouse in Johnson City. He joins us, one of our great sponsors. And so, again, before I let you go, we always ask the question from time to time. A lot of used bookstores out there. What separates yours from the other competing used bookstores across the region?
Well, it's a large bookstore. We have a tendency to take a lot of more in trade than anybody else. I've been told that my competition doesn't take hardly anything in trade anymore. He just has too much. And we'll take more in trade. We'll have more in stock. And because of that, our prices are very reasonable. You'll buy a 2-year-old mystery book that originally sold for $29.95. You'll find it in there for $3.99 or $4.99. So I'm going to start running a special out front every weekend, starting this weekend, where we're going to have a couple of carts out there. Well, it's either half price or buy one, get one free. And there'll be the book club editions to some of the books we have in stock. So if you're a mystery reader, if you're a sci-fi or romance reader, this is a good chance to get a $5 book for a couple bucks. So we're going to have those every weekend, and I hope people take advantage of it.
I think they do. I think they will, because you've got new foot traffic in there. The book sale a couple of weeks ago got a lot of new folks in, didn't they?
Oh yeah, we had a days. People would go out there on those carts and they'd buy a bag of books or they'd buy a handful of books and they'd come in the store and buy another handful of books. And I got a lot of new customers that way. So that's the whole idea of having these sales. You get some new people in there, and once a person comes in the store, they'll keep coming back. It's just so much in there. You'll find stuff you never thought you even liked. You'll find stuff you read 10 years ago. You'll find stuff that you've got on your reading list. So it's just a neat store to visit.
You got it. And they're open, of course, 7 days a week. Love going in there. I was in there last week, and in fact, I bought a couple of books and went through the sports section. Man, they had a great couple of books. One I meant to get. I hope it's still there. I was running short on time, but there was one in there by Coach Wooden. There's one in there about Johnny Manziel. There's one in there about Roger Clemens. There's all kinds of great sports books. They're all used and great prices, and most of the ones I looked at were hardback. So great sports section. As soon as you go in the store and hang a left, it's right there underneath the office window. Big section on sports and magazines, and they're all there for you to take a look at. Bob, what are the hours you're open, my friend, at Book Lovers Warehouse?
We open up at 10 in the morning. We stay till 7 at night. I just thought of something when you said sports. We never get these. I got a trade in with about 15, 20 books on hunting and guns.
Wow. All right.
Yeah, I never get those. They're like Foxfire books. When I get them, they go. So if that's your thing, come in and see what we got.
How many of those you get in?
10 to 7. On Sunday, we open at noon and stay till 5.
Yeah, and how many hunting and gun books did you get in?
10 or 12.
Wow. All right.
Which is a lot. We get maybe 3 a year in, and all of a sudden we got our section is now is a good section to visit because you'll find some interesting things.
There you go. I agree with you 100%. I'm in there all the time. I love shopping at Book Lovers Warehouse. And, of course, we're inside of 115 days to Christmas, and nobody wants to know that. But it's true. We're into September, so Christmas looming on the horizon. Folks do some shopping and get in there and kind of look around. You can get something now and put it away and hide it and give it for a Christmas present because a lot of the stuff in there are one of a kind. Once they're gone, right?
That's right. Once you come in and you don't see them again, that's probably because we only got it one time. And by the way, if you have a lot of trade credit, starting the 1st of December, I'll convert all your trade credit, if you want, to $10 gift certificates. People love to get those as gift certificates. It gets me new customers in the store, and it's a great way to use up your trade credit. And I think people will thank you once you give them one of those gift certificates.
You got it, and I'm right there with you. Bob, great report, my friend. Take care of yourself. We'll check back in on Thursday, all right?
Sounds good.
All right, good job, my man. Buddy Bob from Book Lovers Warehouse in Johnson City. Appreciate him very much. Now, let me give you the schedule for this week. Of course, we're back here tomorrow and Thursday. Friday, we'll be on the road traveling with the Scienceville football team. We got to leave early, get down through Knoxville down to Cleveland's where we're heading, Bradley County for Bradley Central, the ball game. So there won't be a show on Friday simply because I'll be traveling with the team to get down there. And it's a long haul, obviously, down on the other side of Knoxville, almost to Chattanooga, and going through Knoxville on Friday, let me think, on charter buses or going through on a moped, for that matter. It's going to be crowded and busy, so won't be a show on Friday. We'll be back, of course, tomorrow and Thursday, and then back on Monday. So we will be here Labor Day, by the way, on Monday. Tom Taylor Sports Show, thanks for being with us. We mentioned David Ortiz. Let's talk about him for just a second. This guy, again, this guy continues to go right up the list on the home runs and RBI list of Major League Baseball. He had his home run just the other night, his 494th career homer for Ortiz, who's playing first base. Again, he's within 6 of the fabled 500 home run club, which almost guarantee a spot in the Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown. Also moved Ortiz past the great Lou Gehrig and Fred McGriff, the crime dog, who each ended their career with 493. Here's the all-time group around Ortiz now with folks that he can catch. He's at 494. Eddie Murray at 504 in the home run department. I didn't realize Gary Sheffield had 509 home runs, but he does. Then Mel Otts at 511, so those are some of the guys he can catch. Eddie Matthews at 512, and Ernie Banks at 512 home runs. So David Ortiz, Poppy, again, moving right up the list. And, again, for all intents and purposes, he's in the Baseball Hall of Fame. Also, the RBI list. He is at 1,612 going into the week's action. Of course, he's going to be turning 40 in November, so, age is catching up with him, of course. Goose Goslin has 1,612 RBIs. He's tied with him. Next one up the ladder would be Chipper Jones, the Atlanta Braves, 1,623 RBIs all time. So that's who he's chasing next. His home run totals currently at 27th in the all-time home run list, and his RBIs are currently 33rd going into this week. So, again, Poppy Ortiz, David Ortiz, the Red Sox have an $11 million club option for him next season with escalators or based upon his plate appearances this season. He's currently with, 28 homers and 79 RBIs this season, or was going into the weekend. And so David Ortiz moving up the ladder here for the Boston Red Sox slugger, passing the late, great Lou Gehrig on the all-time home run list, which right there is a milestone in of itself. So big doings there for Poppy David Ortiz. Good morning to you. It's Tom Taylor Sports Show. Take a quick break. We'll be right back. We've got more to talk about here. Coming up next, take a look at the Appalachian League. They wrap up their regular season tonight. Playoffs start. That's been set. We'll tell you who's playing, who's out, and who's playing their final game of the regular season at home tonight. All that coming up next year as we move on again on this Tuesday morning on the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
At American Import Auto Repair in Johnson City, one of the 8 areas of your vehicle that takes constant continuing education is the air conditioner on your vehicle.
Well, you would think that AC would be a simple one, but it's getting to be a lot bigger than just AC. It's the management of the system, not just AC, but heat and everything. It's a lot more computer controlled than it used to be. It used to be just a little button on the dash that you pushed. Now there's all kinds of electronics involved in that. Braking systems used to be fairly simple. Now some of the newer vehicles, you have to have a computer to actually operate the braking system to make sure that it's okay after you've worked on it. Computer controlled of the engine is becoming very important. There's a lot to that. Each one of these areas, the technology is just tripled and quadrupled in the last few years. It's hard to keep up. You really need to stay in the books and know what's going on with them.
American Import Auto Repair, Johnson City, open 6 days a week. Call today at 913-3111.
It's Friday night at 7 o'clock. You've been involved in a car accident. You may be out of state on vacation or just a few miles from home. What do you do? Who do you call? At Farmers Insurance Group, one call is all you have to make. Hello, this is Jim Klein, an agent with Farmers Insurance. It's called One and Done. You don't have to wait till Monday morning to file a claim. You can make the initial call, and we'll begin right away to help you. We assist you in moving the vehicle to a certified repair shop, getting you set up with rental car, and informing your agent. Then here are the staff at Jim Klein Farmers Insurance. We follow the claim through to the end. It's that easy. One and done. We're your one and done location for all your insurance needs. Auto, home, life, commercial, workers' comp, and bonds. We can help you with all your insurance needs. Give me a call today, Jim Klein Farmers Insurance at 247-5400. Your one and done location in Kingsport, 247-5400.
Kingsport Cabinetry installs cabinets and countertops all over the 3-state region. Owner Richard Isaac says there is no charge for his quotes.
All of our quotes and drawings are free. I know a lot of the national chains, big box stores and stuff, and I understand they have to charge a price to come out and measure and do a quote, but here at Kingsport Cabinetry, we do all that for free in hopes that our service is good enough. I always tell people this, Tom. I say, you can go anywhere in this town and get a product like I have, but find somebody you're comfortable working with. If you're not comfortable working with me, find somebody you are comfortable working with. But I can guarantee you we'll give you the service. We have a full shop back here that we do custom work, and I'll just move on a little bit. We get into commercial work. We do a lot of commercial work, a lot of healthcare, a lot of restaurants, banks, schools, things like that too.
Kingsport Cabinetry. Call Richard Isaacs today at 247-6134.
Blue Lizard Australian sunscreen originated in Australia, where sunscreen standards are the strictest in the world. Although our products are now manufactured here in the U.S., we continue to adhere to the most stringent Australian standards to offer the best in broad-spectrum sun protection. Blue Lizard, the brand most recommended by pediatricians and dermatologists. Our smart bottle turns blue in the presence of UV rays, reminding you to cover up. You bring the sun, Blue Lizard brings the magic. Back on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Thanks for being with us again on this Tuesday, September the 1st, brand new month. Let's take a look at the Appalachian League, see how things are going there. Season winding down tonight. Again, you have, of course, the playoffs have been set. Pulaski and Princeton are actually Pulaski and Kingsport are the two teams playing for the Appalachian League Championship. Again, last night, Danville beat Kingsport 14-6. Pulaski shuts out Johnson City. They're not having a very good year. They got beat 10-0. Princeton over Greenville 3-2. Elizabethton, the Twins beat Bristol 6-5 and 10, and Bluefield beat Burlington 4-2. Tonight, your last night to watch Appalachian League baseball for 2015, and you would look and see Kingsport hosting the Danville Braves tonight, final game of the regular season. Johnson City home to the front-running Eastern Division leading Pulaski Yankees at Cardinal Park in Johnson City, and a 7 o'clock first pitch. Princeton at Greenville tonight. Elizabethton hosting Bristol, and Bluefield hosting the Burlington Royals in the final game of the regular season for 2015 in the Appalachian League. Playoffs start. Again, it'll be Kingsport representing the Tri-Cities of the Western Division, and the eastern side will be the Pulaski Yankees will be there. So that's what's coming up, again, in the Appalachian League. So tonight, your last night to watch Appy League baseball, and all 5 teams are in the Tri-Cities. Elizabethton hosting Bristol, Greenville home to Princeton, Johnson City, as we said, hosting Pulaski, and Kingsport hosting Danville. So if you want to watch Appalachian League baseball, the boys of summer one more time, the Appalachian League tonight is the grand finale, as they say. We say good morning to you. Thanks for being with us. Going to be joined coming up at the top of the hour by Bill Robinson from Milligan College, the the basketball coach, and we'll be talking to him and see what's going on in the land of the Buffaloes coming up here in just a few minutes in our regular weekly segment with Milligan College. Also coming up a little bit later on the show, we'll check in with, Sam Jones, as we told you, big fireworks show coming up next week at Bristol Dragway, and we'll be talking to him about fireworks, as we said, coming up here a little bit later on this afternoon, because that'll be coming up next week. Also, Jim Klein from Jim Klein Farmers Insurance having a big Customer Appreciation Day coming up next week, and an open house. We'll tell you all about that coming up as well a little bit later on in the show. We say good morning to you. New movement now, just since we came on air, about the Tom Brady scenario. Let's bring you up to speed on this. Again, an ending is coming closer in the matter of the NFL versus Tom Brady. I'm all about this. I am so tired of hearing about it. I'm over it. Will not come via settlement. But it will not come via settlement. The parties involved, the National Football League, the National Football League Players Association, and Patriots quarterback Tom Brady could not reach an agreement during a final negotiation attempt yesterday at U.S. District Court of Manhattan. Instead, Judge Richard Berman says, okay, if you boys can't do it, I'm going to make a ruling. It'll be before Friday. Okay? We did not reach a settlement. The parties tried quite hard, I think. In some cases, a settlement doesn't happen. This is one of those cases. So here are the 3 ways this can end up before Friday. Judge Berman can rule for the NFL, upholding the arbitration ruling by Roger Goodell and issuing his own ruling in favor of the National Football League. Brady would be staring down a 4-game suspension to open the season. Now, he'll have a week, if this goes this way, he'll have a week before the Patriots' home opener against the Steelers to decide if he wants to appeal the matter. This is probably, according to these folks, the most likely path Berman's going to go. And we don't know that. It's purely speculation. Number 2, Judge Berman rules for the NFL with a caveat. Berman could rule for the NFL, but bail Brady out to a degree if he assumes Brady will appeal, which is a fair assumption. He'll say, no, I'm not going to take whatever you send me. If it's not what I want, I'm going to appeal it. Berman could uphold the arbitration ruling, but also order the league to allow Brady on the field while the appeal process is sorted out. Brady could then play week 1 against the Steelers and into the future while the appeal process plays out. Okay. The biggest concern for Tom Brady at that point, then, if you go that direction, is the appeal process wrapping up near the end of the season and the playoffs. That may be the way to go, too. He may say, okay, we're going to keep looking at this thing, but you're going to be able to play until we make a decision. Okay, that's the second one. Third possibility, Judge Berman rules for both Brady and the NFL Players Association. If Berman decides to vacate the arbitration award issued by Goodell and rule in favor of Brady, the Patriots quarterback would have no suspension to deal with and would be eligible to play in week 1. I don't see that happening. I think it's going to be 2. I think it's going to be number 2. He's going to rule for the NFL but say, okay, Brady's going to appeal this thing. We know it, so just let him play and while we begin the appeals process. So we'll see. That's the very latest coming down this morning. I, for one, I don't know about you, I'm just tired of hearing about it, but it's going to me. It's dragging on, and I think it's a black eye for the National Football League, and that's just me. But anyway, so we'll see what goes on with the next set of rules and decisions before Friday by Judge Richard Berman. Good morning to you, Tom Taylor Sports Show. Thanks for being with us. Like us, and you do. Like us on Facebook, Tom Taylor Sports Show / again, like us and follow us, I should say. Tom Taylor Sports Show / and just tell us that you like us, and we'd appreciate that very much. It continues to grow every day, and we appreciate that as well. Let's take a look at high school football. The polls are out this week in Tennessee, and we'll start at 6A, the number one team there after winning by 31 over Fulton. Maryville stays number one in 6A football. Whitehaven number 2, Ravenwood number 3, Murfreesboro, Oakland number 4, Science Hill, the Hilltoppers up a notch, number 5 this week. Blackman goes 6, Arlington 7, Murfreesboro, Riverdale number 8, Memphis White Station number 9, and Dobbins Minute rounds out the top 10. Science Hill's opponent this week, Bradley Central, comes in at the lone honorable mention in 6A football. In 5A, Oak Ridge, by virtue of beating Dobbins Minute 17-14 Friday night in Kingsport, vaults to the number one team in 5A football. Independence second, Hendersonville third, Sevier County, Smoky Bears fourth in the state, Hillsboro fifth, Ray County sixth, Knox West seventh, Morristown West is number 8 in the state in 5A football, Ottawa number 9, and rounding out the top 10 is Henry County. In 4A football this week, new polls out. Knox Fulton stays number 1. Knox Catholic jumps to number 2. Greenville, who got hammered pretty good by Morristown West, 29-3 was the final. They dropped to number 3 in the state this week from second to third. Then comes Crockett County, Ridgeway, Memphis East, Marshall County, Pearl Cone, Hardin County, and Jackson Northside right out the top 10 in 4A in Tennessee. Sullivan East got an honorable mention for the Patriots, and they got an honorable mention, which is great to see in 4A football. In 3A, CPA number 1 in the state this week, Alcoa number 2, CAK at number 3, Liberty Magnet number 4, Dyersburg 5th, Notre Dame 6th, Milan 7th. The Elizabethton Cyclones fall to number 8 this week after losing to Science Hill, which I don't understand. Number 9 is Pigeon Forge, and number 10 is Camden. In 2A football, new polls out this week. Number 1 team all the way from number 3 up to number 1 is Marion County. Boyd Buchanan at number 2, Tyner Academy at number 3, Tresvant at number 4, Adamsville number 5 this week. Then comes Forest, Meigs County, Grace Christian at number 8. Number 9, the Hampton Bulldogs, in it again not ranked last week. They're 9th in the state in 2A, and Sullivan North gets a ranking. They get, again, the 10th spot this week in 2A football in the state of Tennessee. Also, you have in single A Union City this week at number 1, and really no changes there in the top 5. Union City, Peabody, Nashville Christian, Dresden, Coalfield top 5. Then comes Huntington, Trousdale County, Wayne County, Whitwell, and Columbia Academy. And Cloudland gets an honorable mention this week in 1A football. So, again, from our neck of the woods, Cloudland, honorable mention 1A. In 2A, Hampton ranked 9th, Sullivan North ranked 10th this week. In 3A, Elizabeth and the Cyclones ranked 8th in high school football. In 4A, Greenwood, number 3 in the state, Sullivan East gets an honorable mention. In 5A football this week, Morristown West at number 8. And in 6A football, Dobbins Minute at number 10 and Science Hill at number 5 in the state in 6A football. Games Thursday night, got Thursday night games coming up this week. Cumberland Gap at Gatlinburg-Pittman, Northview Academy at Pigeon Forge, Unicoi County, the Blue Devils play on Thursday at West Green. So those are the games coming up. Again, in high school football for this coming Thursday. Of course, Friday night, full slate of action. Bearden plays at Hardin Valley. Sullivan Central hosting the Cherokee Chiefs in the conference opener. Cloudland at Oakdale. In fact, it is conference week for everybody. Cobb County at Sevier County. Hampton hosting Cosby. Dobbins Minute travels to William Blount to battle the Governors Friday night. Granger at Sullivan East. Volunteer hosting Greenville. Jeff County has the task of going to Maryville to battle the Rebels. Johnson County and Elizabethton to help bring in that brand new stadium for Coach Whitten and the Cyclones in Elizabethton on Friday night. Morristown West will be in Jonesboro to battle Crockett. Seymour at Sullivan South. North Green hosting South Green. Sullivan North goes up on the hill to battle Happy Valley Friday night. Tennessee High at Morristown East. Trinity Academy at Christ School in Asheville on Friday night. Give me a little swig of water. Best thing you can drink is water to keep yourself hydrated. So says Dr. Barry Walton from Max Medicine Mart. And he's right. Southwest Virginia, Gate City hosting Abington Friday night. Castlewood at Honaker. Eastside at Hurley. Harlan County, Kentucky at Thomas Walker. Twin Springs, the Fighting Titans hosting Holston. J.I. Burton at Chilhowie. You also have Lehigh at Lebanon on Friday night. Richlands at Union. Y Central hosting Ridgeview. Rye Cove, the War Eagles will be at Patrick Henry. And John Battle home to Virginia High. All that happening on Friday night in Southwest Virginia. Here on our airwaves, we will have for you on the road at Bradley Central, taking on the Bears, or again, honorable mention 6A this week in high school football in the state of Tennessee. Science Hill on the road at Bradley Central. Airtime at 7 o'clock with the Blue Lizard Australian Sunscreen pregame show. And kickoff at 7:30 from Bradley Central High School on Friday night. Should be a barn burner. Then Science Hill back for 2 in a row. Homecoming is Irvine, North Carolina next Friday night. And then September the 18th, Maryville comes to town. Should be a dandy in that football game then. So that's your schedule for high school football this week and the polls. And again, our broadcast will be on Friday night. Science Hill on the road again at Bradley Central to battle the Bears. And again, airtime at 7 o'clock with the Blue Lizard pregame show on Friday night. Tom Taylor Sports Show, thanks for being with us. How do you find this, folks, to say, well, how do I get to your show? It's very easy. All you have to do is go to livestream.com. You see behind me on the banner, livestream.com. Of course, my hat's in the way. Livestream.com. Just type in Tom Taylor Sports Show, and there we be. Now, the football game on Friday night, I'll be right back here. Tom Taylor, let's see, livestream.com, Tom Taylor Productions for the football game. And then on the coaches shows, again, we're shooting 3 coaches shows a week now. And all you do is go to YouTube. Go to YouTube and type in the particular coach's name you want to watch. That would be either Stacy Carter, Graham Clark, or now Sean Whitten. And those come up, brand new show. We put them up there on the YouTube on Wednesdays at noon. They stay there infinitely, so you can go back and check it out, watch as often as you want. But our first shows this week will be coming up tomorrow at noon. Again, with, as we said, Sean Whitten, Stacy Carter, and Graham Clark every week on the coaches shows. And we appreciate that very, very much. Tom Taylor Sports Show, we thank you for being with us. Big night of NFL football. We'll come back and talk about that. Also, Bill Robinson's going to join us a little bit later on here. That'll be the head basketball coach at Milligan College. Recruiting season is in full force as always. And, of course, some of the guys back on campus working out. In fact, they're all back on campus. School's back in at Milligan, so fall workouts have begun for Milligan. The men's basketball team. We'll talk to Coach Robinson coming up here in a few minutes, our Milligan segment. NFL football. Let's run down that real quick before we go to the break. My boys play Seattle on Thursday night. The Raiders will be in Seattle to battle the Seahawks. Oakland, by the way, if you care, you probably don't. They have scored 53 points in preseason, but they've given up 53 points. Not real good. They're 1-2. Cowboys are 0-3. Do you get concerned if you're a Cowboys fan? Preseason, you're 0-3. Saints 0-3. The St. Louis Rams 0-3. Also, you have in the NFL AFC East, you've got, or I should say the South, the Titans are 1-2. Undefeated right now in preseason. Doesn't matter. I don't know. Denver and Kansas City both 3-0 on the top of the AFC West. NFC East, Philadelphia and the Redskins are 3-0. Man, have they got problems in Washington or what? RG3, nobody wants this guy. Even the coaches we're hearing now, they want to trade him. Maybe to Cleveland, I'm hearing. But they want Kirk Cousins to be the starting quarterback for the Redskins. Looks like that's going to happen. And so RG3 may be looking for a new home. He's apparently not very well liked with the coaches, and more importantly, the players not too thrilled with him for whatever reason. And then also in the NFL, the best team right now, bar none, is Minnesota. They are 4-0 in NFL preseason. Who's playing where this week? Final tune-up. Saints will be at Green Bay. Baltimore at Atlanta. Colts hosting the Bengals. Philadelphia and New York to battle the Jets. Miami home to Tampa Bay in the Battle of Florida. Redskins hosting Jacksonville Thursday night. Steelers home to the Panthers. Buffalo at Detroit. You got the Giants in New England. Tennessee home to the undefeated and the best in the NFL preseason, Minnesota Vikings at 4-0. There'll be an 8 o'clock kickoff, again, from Nissan Field in Nashville on Thursday. Cleveland at Chicago to battle the Bears. Cowboys hosting Houston, the Battle of Texas. Kansas City and St. Louis in the battle of the middle part of the country teams between the Chiefs and the St. Louis Rams. Arizona, Denver, San Diego at San Francisco, and the Raiders will be in Seattle to battle the Seahawks. That's your NFL preseason games. Again, that's coming up again, the final round, of course, of preseason before it gets going and ready to go for the NFL regular season will be, again, as we said, that'll be coming up on Thursday night. Quick break. We'll be right back. We'll check in with Bill Robinson, head coach of Milligan College. And also later in the show, we're going to check in with Sam Jones with a big fireworks show coming up next week. Not this Friday night, but next Friday night a week at the Bristol Dragway. He'll be by and talk about that coming up. Also, Jim Klein a little bit later on in the show. But first, let's jump in there and talk about our buddy Jim Klein. As a matter of fact, that big old tall drink of water as we go to the break to pay some of the bills. And we say we'll be right back with more on this Tuesday edition of the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
It's Friday night at 7 o'clock. You've been involved in a car accident. You may be out of state on vacation or just a few miles from home. What do? Who do you call? At Farmers Insurance Group, one call is all you have to make. Hello, this is Jim Klein, an agent with Farmers Insurance. It's called One and Done. You don't have to wait till Monday morning to file a claim. You can make the initial call, and we'll begin right away to help you. We assist you in moving the vehicle to a certified repair shop, getting you set up with rental car, and informing your agent. Then here at the staff at Jim Klein Farmers Insurance, we follow the claim through to the end. It's that easy. One and done. We're your one and done location for all your insurance needs. Auto, home, life, commercial, workers' comp, and bonds. We can help you with all your insurance needs. Give me a call today, Jim Klein Farmers Insurance at 247-5400. Your one and done location in Kingsport, 247-5400.
At American Import Auto Repair in Johnson City, one of the things that owner Tim Smith is most proud of is their hard-earned certifications.
We are an ASE Blue Seal shop, which is important because what it tells the customer is we care enough to get certified, not in one certain area of cars. You have to be certified in 8 different certifications, in 8 different tests you have to take, and you have to be updated on them yearly to make sure that you're up to date. We not only have one of those, we have 3 ASE master technicians here. With the ratio, it goes into a ratio, and we're a Blue Seal shop. So it tells you that we care about training and we care about knowing about your car. We want to help fix it right.
American Import Auto Repair, West Market Street, Johnson City, home of the free loaner car program. Open 6 days a week. Call today, 913-3111.
Any day is a good day to get a tray from Chick-fil-A. Over 10 to choose from. Perfect for having the gang over to watch the big game, birthday parties, church get-togethers, backyard gatherings, everything from fruit trays to garden salad trays to nuggets and chicken strip trays. And for the sweet tooth, try the cinnamon cluster or chocolate chunk cookie tray. So you see, any day is a good day to get a tray from Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A at the Crossings in North Johnson City.
Back on the Tom Taylor Sports Show on this Wednesday, or Tuesday, I should say. Got ahead of myself. September the 1st.
That's Coach Robinson.
Yes, Coach Robinson.
Yes.
Tom Taylor, how you doing, my friend?
Tom, good. How are you?
Just fine, sir. Again, Coach Robinson with us here live on the Tom Taylor Sports Show, and here we go again, another round of Milligan College basketball. And tell us what's going on right now with the Buffalo men's basketball team.
Things are cranking up here. We had our first day of conditioning yesterday. We've got a new strength conditioning coach. It's kind of bringing a whole nother level to our preseason work, and guys are really excited about being back in maybe not being excited about being back in class, but they're excited to be back in the gym.
Yeah, that's kind of standard for college guys, back on the court, but not necessarily too thrilled to be back in the classroom. But of course, that's part of it, and that's what you got to do to play college sports, as everyone knows. So let's talk about new strength coach. So at this point, do you have them doing bench presses? You doing conditioning to make stronger, better jumpers? What are you doing right now?
A little bit of everything right now. We've started our lifting program, which we do 4 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, and then we're doing conditioning in the evenings on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then still trying to do a little bit of player development with individual workouts and open gym opportunities with guys just getting in play some. And sometimes I feel like that's sometimes just the best time guys can connect early in the season, just being able to spend some time in the gym alone, just playing and getting to know each other better.
So tell me about some of the kids you're counting on this year for Milligan men's basketball.
Well, we've only got one starter returning, and that's Kurt Brooks, and he's from Cott County, just down the road here, and he's been a starter for 3 years, and it's going to have to provide just not on the court stuff, but leadership off the court, and he's excited about his new role. And we're going to have a new point guard, and Gabe Logan, kid that came last year, won a state championship his senior year in high school in North Carolina, and he's kind of learned from Mickey Woods last year and be ready to kind of step in and kind of take the team hopefully on his shoulders and be able to lead us in a good direction. But we've got 2 returning post players, 2 JUCO kids that came off the bench for us last year, and Milos Petrovic from Serbia and Julian Bailey from North Carolina from the Fayetteville area. Julian has probably been the biggest improvement so far. He just came in great shape, and we're really looking forward to seeing his senior year.
Talking to Bill Robinson, the head basketball coach, the Milligan men's basketball team. And let's take a look at your non-conference schedule. Where are you going to be playing outside of the conference this year?
Well, we've got 2 big exhibition games. Of course, ETSU plays us every year. We appreciate the opportunity they give us to play them every year. We just picked up UNC Wilmington last week. So those are going to be 2 really good tests for us. We've got a good rivalry with Alice Lloyd up in Kentucky. They used to be in the conference and developed a relationship with them. They joined the KIAC up in Kentucky, but they're kind of the best opportunity for us to play somebody similar to conference before we actually get to conference play. So it's one of those situations where if you play well, you win. If you don't play well, you lose, and that's kind of the way you want some of those non-conference games to be.
Now, Daniel Monjay was telling me before we got on the air today that you were up at the race a couple of weeks ago at Bristol Motor Speedway. Tell me about that.
We did, and we've gotten a really great situation at the race. We got connected with one of the guys from the hospitality area, and our guys have gone up there and worked hospitality tents. And it's been a neat opportunity for me. Last year, I got a chance to meet Dale Jr. at the Diet Mountain Dew tent that we were covering, and got backstage and got to see him a little bit. And I didn't realize how small some of those guys are. You get working with some of these 6'8", 6'9" guys in practice and then see some of these drivers, it kind of changes your perspective a little bit and realize how tough these guys really, really are. This year we actually got to do the hospitality inside the oval. So we got to hear, obviously, and see NASCAR in a whole different way. And really exciting to be. I mean, we were even backstage for the Steven Tyler the concert beforehand. So great opportunity for our guys to make some money. We just got brand new uniforms, an opportunity to raise some money for our program, but also have the fun and the excitement of being able to experience a NASCAR race.
See, that's an aspect of Bristol Motor Speedway a lot of folks don't realize. All these nonprofits that they're selling, they make money for their programs, and so there you go. Without BMS, you probably could not have got those new uniforms for the guys this year, right?
Exactly, and the opportunity to do both races, the one in the fall obviously is much bigger and a great opportunity to see just how many people really get involved. I thought this race this fall was just phenomenal. But even hoping that they will continue to employ us when the football teams come next fall and actually get an extra event for us to be able to make some money next fall too. So we're excited about the relationship we have with Bristol Motor Speedway. Actually, one of our players, James Songster, is one of the first graduate student I've ever had play for me. He's actually did his internship, and they hired him up there, and he's working up there today, and actually doing his grad work and working with them and playing for us all at the same time. So it's been a great thing for us to establish a relationship with them.
Yep, saw him up here last week. He's actually working at the ticket office right now at BMS.
Yeah, exactly. And he texts me every day to make sure that he can get his work in up there and still be able to get back here for workouts. So it takes a special kid to be able to do that.
Great kid. You're exactly right. We're talking to Bill Robinson, again, the men's basketball coach at Milligan College. So having met Junior, or have you become an Earnhardt Jr. fan as a result of meeting him?
Absolutely. I mean, it's. I talk to people all the time. Take the team that you hate the most in the whole world, and for me, it's the Boston Red Sox. If they hired me, paid me $100,000 to be their equipment manager, I'd become a Red Sox fan real quick. Once you get to get to know the people and to get to know the players and make it a personal thing, it's hard to root against them. But yeah, I'd love to see Junior win and win big.
We're talking to Bill Robinson. So tell me the state, in your humble opinion, of college basketball as a whole, and more specifically NAIA basketball. Tell me how you think it's going right now. Is it a pretty healthy sport?
I think the NAIA basketball is really healthy right now, and to get a chance to see that at the national tournament last year and see how well it's supported out there, and it's not just the fans, but the local businesses and what they've bought into at the national tournament. We all get honorary coaches, business people that actually buy in to be able to help support the tournament. It's a really special event. If you've never been, it's great. I mean, they play 32 teams all come together and have just an amazing run. The first round lasts 2 days, starting at 8:30 in the morning, going through till midnight both days. And to be able to see the quality of the players at that level, I just don't think people realize how good basketball is at the NAIA level. I think basketball as a whole, being at the national tournament every year, being at the Final Four, it's incredible the amount of people that are connected with it. I think with what Calipari's doing at Kentucky right now and just taking everything to a whole nother level, everybody's got to kind of catch up to the new modern way to do it. I think they're going to get left behind. But I don't like the one and dones, but at the same time, that's kind of where we are right now. And at that level, they're going to have to continue to recruit those type of players.
Coming up, we're going to be hearing from Steve Spurrier again, coach, the old ball coach, taking some swipes at Texas A&M and Ohio State. We'll have that for you coming up here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Also, a little bit later on, we got a story, another update just as we've been on the air about the Deflategate and Tom Brady in the National Football League, and there's some new movement on that particular topic since we got on the air this morning. We'll talk about that. Coach, you look ahead to Milligan, and so it's a great way to come over there and enjoy. I mean, I think you guys put out a great product, and so we're going to be talking to you more often heading into the start of the season, which is not that far away. But, yes, East Tennessee State's got a great product. They're doing great things with Coach Forbes. But you know what? Milligan College does a great on a different level, the NAIA. And so my point of this is I'm inviting, on your behalf, folks to come out and catch one of your games and Coach Aubrey's Lady Buffaloes games because it's a lot of fun on campus, isn't it?
It's a lot of fun, and it's much more personal in my opinion. You can sit in the front row, be literally 2 steps off the court, and get a chance to see the guys, meet the guys, get a chance to really get a relationship with. We've got a special group of guys, and they're easy to coach, and it's easy to be able to develop relationships and friendships. And we very often will invite young teams to come in and see the kind of the backstage, if you want to say, of what Milligan basketball is all about. We've invited youth teams to come in and actually go to the locker room before a game and get to see what we do, see the scouting report on the board, and then go up and watch the game happen. And for a lot of kids, that would hopefully will motivate them to want to play, maybe want to coach, but it also gets to see that these guys are basketball players or college players, but they're also really nice guys, and to be able to develop relationships and knowing that they're not going to hear or see things behind the scenes or hear or see things on the court that you wouldn't want your kids to have. And I think that's what makes Milligan special. Exactly,
and that's going to be my last question as always when we have a Milligan guest each week is, as a prospective student out there somewhere listening or a guardian that has a child that's going to be going off to college or even a grown-up who wants to go back and get a second round of education, give us a sales pitch. Why Milligan College?
I think Milligan's the best of both worlds. You get an opportunity to play even Division I schools that are on our schedule, but to play a great brand of basketball at a great Christian school where professors know your name, and you get that great education from a Christian perspective, but also be able to get a great degree that will be able to last you a lifetime. One of the best stories I have, my daughter's a freshman here now. She had a problem with one of her classes, didn't understand the assignment. She went to the professor and asked a question. He said, "Come meet me in my office in an hour." Sat down with her, helped her walk her through it. That just doesn't happen at big schools. And she felt like she was taken care of. And what else can you ask from a parent to know that your kid's going to be taken care of when they go off to college?
Exactly. Well put. Again, last question, Milligan College, the website, how do we find out more about your basketball team on the web?
The website is www.milliganbuffs.com, Buffs as in Buffaloes. And you got the links to all the different teams. And we got a great coaching staff here and a lot of really fun stuff going on here. So we support each other. We spend a lot of time watching the other teams play and get a chance to know athletes from other teams, too. And I think that doesn't happen at too many other schools, too. So I've got favorite players on the baseball team, got favorite players on the soccer team, and I want to go support them and get to see them play because, again, it's back to what we're talking about with the Red Sox. You get to know those kids, you want to go out and support them, and you want them to be successful.
You got it. Coach, great report, my friend, as always. We'll be back in touch very soon. Thanks for Daniel Monge for setting this up, and again, we'll talk to you soon, all right?
Thanks, Tom. Have a great day.
Yes, sir. Great report. This guy is good. Bill Robinson, again, the men's basketball coach at Milligan College. Appreciate him very much right here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. We are we're past the high noon hour here, working our way through the lunchtime here on this Tuesday, first day of the new month, September the 1st. Of course, Labor Day weekend coming up. This coming Monday will be Labor Day. We will have a show for you right here in studio, the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Well, the old ball coach. Now, the Southeastern Conference won 7 national titles in a row. That's a great trivia question. Before, Florida State and Ohio State claimed the last 2. Buckeyes, the big favorite to repeat this year. And now, South Carolina coach Steve Spurrier joining SEC diehards to discredit their path to another title. He says, quote, on a recent sports show, every now and then, this is a quote, every now and then, when I listen in on your all shows, I know the Southeastern Conference fans are a little upset at Ohio State's schedule, and rightfully so, to tell you the truth. Again, Ohio State opens this season with a tough road game against Virginia Tech, but then round out its non-conference lineup with games against Hawaii. Are you kidding me? Northern Illinois and Western Michigan. On the flip side, Spurrier's Gamecocks open the season Thursday night against North Carolina at a neutral site before hosting Central Florida, the Citadel, and ACC-powered in-state rival Clemson to end the season. Now, the Citadel, of course, is on the schedule, for all intents and purposes, pretty much a given win. Lock it down for the Citadel. Central Florida, it could be, they're going to beat them, I would think, but it could be interesting. And then, of course, Clemson, enough said, to end the season. So you have Ohio State playing Hawaii, Northern Illinois, and Western Michigan. South Carolina, again, playing North Carolina, Central Florida, the Citadel, and Clemson. More from Spurrier. Quote, "That's just the way it is and how it works out for all of us," Spurrier said. "I remember several years ago, Texas A&M had 4 sort of gimme games outside the conference and then 8 conference games. Ironically enough, Texas A&M coach Kevin Sumlin was the chance to respond to Spurrier's comments on a sports show. The old ball coach has never shied away from ruffling a few feathers, and he checked off the defending national champions and fellow SEC contender from his list because he's not a big fan. And so, interesting. Good stuff there again from Coach Spurrier, the old ball coach. Earlier in the year he talked about how they were doing, cartwheels in Knoxville because he went 7-6. So he never misses a chance to get a little dig in on someone. In this case, it would be Ohio State and Texas A&M. Good afternoon to you. Thanks for being with us. More news out of Southern California. Steve Sarkisian's erratic behavior at a booster event back in August brought an onslaught of negative attention towards the second-year coach and the Trojans program, but wasn't accompanied with any formal discipline. Southern Cal Athletic Director Pat Hayden defended his actions, or lack thereof, for the first time on Monday. He says, quote, "I understand a lot of people are going to disagree with my decision. I do. It happens all the time. I believe the course of action we chose was really in the best interest of Southern Cal and Coach Steve, and maybe just as important, or more importantly, our players." Now, Sarkisian, I've heard it pronounced several different ways, and we'll go with that one. Sarkisian has apologized for using inappropriate language at the event and disparaging other programs. He made fun of other teams and other schools, saying he mixed alcohol and unspecified medications. His only punishment came from his players, a session of up-downs that left him drenched in sweat. Hayden said he had conversations with medical professionals before deciding on his course of action, who has since started his counseling stage treatment. He is going to some alcohol rehab counseling. The problem I have with all this, which is not stated here in this particular article, was he was drinking in front of the players in the locker room, both before and after the game. So we go back to what I said when this first came out 2 or 3 weeks ago. If you're a person in charge of somebody, anybody, be it kids or if you're a boss at a workplace, you can't be one of the boys and crack the whip. My father used to tell me that, and he's right. Father's right on a lot of things. You cannot crack the whip and be one of the boys. You can't be one of the boys and crack the whip. It just doesn't work. What am I talking about? Well, you can't get out there and hang out with them when it's time to turn around and go, uh-oh, you messed up and have to discipline you. Nobody's going to listen to you because they see you as one of the boys. Well, when you're out there drinking in the locker room or wherever, maybe not in the locker room, but it was there where the players knew it. You have alcohol both before and after the game, so if the players go out and do something alcohol-related, no matter what it is, good or bad, it wouldn't be good necessarily, but whatever they do, and it's alcohol-driven, what can he say about it? Because he's doing the same thing. So that's where my beef is. The fact he is going and getting some help, which is exactly what he needs to do. But again, only thing that happened to him was to make him do sit-ups or up-downs that left him drenched in sweat because the players made him do it. Kind of a joke, kind of a funski. But he got his point across, and they got their point across. But still, not enough done to him. I don't know what you would do. I guess you suspend him for a couple of games to get his attention. I know there was also a story where he's selling he and his wife going through a divorce. He has an 8,000 square foot home in Southern California he's got up for sale. I'm not begrudging him for that because he has an 8,000 square foot home, which seems to be a little big in the big course of things to have an 8,000 square foot home to live in with he and her, I believe it is, or whether they got 20 kids. Still, that's a lot of space, and that's okay. But he's going through that. He's trying to sell that home. He's going through a divorce, and now he's trying to get ready for a Southern Cal football season. So, does that make any of this right? No. But again, my problem with the fact that he was headed around the guys, and they, they're going to be college guys. Boys will be boys, as they say. And so if they get in trouble because of an alcohol-related scenario, not a whole lot he can do about it because he had it around him. And that's just the way it is. And, you may differ, but that's my opinion on it. And, it's the way it is. Your opinion, mine, and mine, of course. So, anyway, that's what's going on at Southern California. Hayden says, I understand folks are upset. I'm defending why I did it. And he did, and I don't buy it. But, again, it's America, and you're entitled to your opinion. We'll take a quick break. Be right back. We got more for you again on this Tuesday, the Tom Taylor Sports Show, right after you hear this.
From the driveways where your kids play basketball and ride their bicycles, to the parking lots at your local church or grocery store, Bracken Paving is an important part of many neighborhoods in our area. No matter how large or how small the job, Bracken strives for excellence in every service they provide. It's a foundation for a strong community. Discover the difference at Bracken Paving and Asphalt Maintenance. Give us a call or visit us online at brackenpaving.com.
American Import Auto Repair in Johnson City takes care of both male and female customers, but owner Kim Smith says they have a special care and concern for ladies.
Being a female in what's considered a man's business, I understand the trepidation that women may have when they come to the shop. They feel like they don't know about cars, they might be intimidated, but that's not the way we do business. Everybody's treated the same. We take the time to explain anything that they have questions about, the repair, the process, the part. We want to make sure people are comfortable with what we're going to do to their vehicle and that they understand. We do cater to women in a sense. We have a real nice waiting room with nice Keurig coffee and flavored creamers, air-conditioned, cushioned seats, TV, everything a girl could want while she waits for her car to be fixed.
American Import Auto Repair in Johnson City, open 6 days a week. Call today at 913-3111.
At Bristol Orthotics and Prosthetics, they treat thousands of patients each year dealing with diabetes and its effects. Diabetes overtaking our nation and leaving a path of destruction behind. Through wound care, office visits, and preventive care, they see most of the patients after a problem arises. Using diabetic footwear such as shoes and inserts, a great way to prevent or prolong skin breakdown and amputation. At Bristol Orthotics and Prosthetics, they use only custom molds from patient mold inserts, which further ensure a great recovery, or better yet, prevents a wound from happening. They use custom molded shoes, bracing, custom inserts, and extra depth diabetic shoes to prevent wounds or other skin issues from beginning. Call today, 1-800-524-4447. 39 years, 6 locations, 1 family. Bristol Orthotics and Prosthetics, 1-800-524-4447. Whether lying on the beach, just working in your yard, or watching NASCAR racing this weekend in Bristol, your skin needs protection from the harmful effects of the sun. Blue Lizard Sunscreen delivers broad-spectrum SPF 30-plus protection that comes with smart bottle technology. Our bottle changes colors in the presence of UV rays, reminding you to cover up. It's the brand most recommended by pharmacists and dermatologists nationwide, plus it's made right here in the Tri-Cities. Blue Lizard Sunscreen, we've got you covered.
Thanks for being with us on the Tom Taylor Sports Show on this Tuesday, September the 1st, brand new month, of course. Our show number 131. Big thanks to our buddy Tim Colvin, Greg Taylor, Natalie Woods, and Jeff Bedford with Center Street Wealth Management Group, Wells Fargo. Appreciate them very much. We're one of our great sponsors here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Friday night we'll be on the road. Hope you'll join us right here on these airwaves. Internet waves, I guess. I don't know what you call it, airwaves. Yeah, it's airwaves. But we'll be on the road to Bradley Central. Again, Science Hill, 5th in the state this week, and they'll take their show on the road to Bradley Central, who's 11th in the state this week. Airtime at 7 o'clock with the Blue Lizard pregame show. Blue Lizard Australian Sunscreen pregame show at 7 o'clock. And then kickoff at 7:30 from Bradley Central. So We're looking forward to being there. Hope you'll join us right here. All you got to do is type in livestream.com and go to Tom Taylor Productions. I get them all mixed up. There's a lot of them. Tom Taylor Productions, where we'll be for the football game, right here where we are right now, as a matter of fact, for the football game. Actually, not where we are right now. We're at Tom Taylor Sports Show. So you would go to Tom Taylor Productions, and there will be Science Hill and Bradley Central on Friday night. Following week off, NASCAR turns its sights back on the next big holiday weekend. Of course, they wrapped up a great weekend of racing at Bristol Motor Speedway with the Urban Tools night race. Joey Logano nailing down his second consecutive night race. Moving on after a week off, and NASCAR returning to its roots, putting the Labor Day weekend race back where it should be, I think, the traditional home at Darlington Raceway. And it went away for 11 years, the weekend race in Darlington for the Labor Day weekend. But kudos to NASCAR for really working hard and recognizing how important Labor Day weekend at Darlington Raceway is to the sport. From 1950 to 2003, the Southern 500 was held on Labor Day weekend. It was moved to November in 2004 before a 9-year stretch of Mother's Day weekend and an April run last year. NASCAR announcing last August that the Sunday night race will be held on Labor Day weekend in Darlington this year. So it's going to be on Sunday night. And this is the Wrigley Field of NASCAR. So says, let's see, who is that? Dragway President Chip Weil says this is the Wrigley Field of NASCAR. There's been so many Hall of Fame drivers who've won here and some who haven't. One of 3 or 4 racetracks on the circuit that drivers really want to win at because of how important it is to the sport. It's grown up with the sport. And considered by most drivers to be one of NASCAR's 4 majors, which I totally disagree with. There's more than 4 majors. They use the Daytona 500, the Brickyard, the Coca-Cola 600, now the Southern, and that's just not what we heard 2 weeks ago. We heard from, in fact, the folks from Penske Racing say they circle their calendar every year for the Urban Tools night race at Bristol, the August race, the night race in Bristol. So I totally disagree with this article. And one of the 4 majors for me and for a lot of drivers is the night race at Bristol. But anyway, Southern 500 certainly a great race. I think, this is me, being around the sport, I think the Brickyard's kind of taken a step back as far as, I don't know, the shine or the notoriety or whatever you want to call it on the program. I just don't think it has the oomph that it once did. That's just me. Daytona 500, no question. Coca-Cola 600 in Charlotte, maybe. Night race in Bristol, no question. It was indicative of 150,000 plus coming to town with a soft economy. And I do think the Southern 500 is big. It should be. It's one of those kind of backbones of the sport. Daytona 500 held every year in February to begin the season. Memorial Day weekend, the Coca-Cola in Charlotte. And now you come back for the Labor Day weekend of the Southern 500. So I would agree with that, but I don't think it's I think they left out a major race on the circuit that all the drivers want to win at, and that would be the night race at Bristol. But I also know that each track has its own PR and all their own buzz they got to talk about. So anyway, it's now called the Bojangles Southern 500, moving it back to Labor Day. And so it's coming up, as we said, this weekend on Sunday night, and there's a handful of drivers. We'll talk more about that tomorrow, get a little closer. They start practice and all that coming up for the Southern 500 this weekend at Daytona. Now, the controversy is there for this weekend's race. The Confederate flag and the Southern 500, and so there's a lot of anxiety, if you will, about whether the flag should be banned, whether they're going to have it down there, and I guarantee they're going to have it down there. You say what you want, but I promise you there's going to be a lot of Southern flags or Confederate flags at the Southern 500 this weekend in Darlington. Whether you think it's right or wrong, it ain't going to make any difference. I'm telling you, they're going to do what they want to do, and they're going to be down there in full force, the Confederate flags this weekend. Whether you agree with it or not, it's just going to be. The Southern 500 in the South on Labor Day weekend, yeah, going to be a lot of Confederate flags. Agree or disagree, really matters not. It's going to happen. NASCAR did the right thing by supporting the movement to remove the Confederate flag from the State House grounds in Columbia, South Carolina. So says Jeff Owen, who is a sports writer, and this was published back on June 24th. It was not only the politically correct position, but really the only stance it could take. And NASCAR must now take an even stronger stance to prohibit fans from displaying the controversial flag at its tracks and races. Totally disagree. That's just me. We're in America, open this can of worms. We're in America, and we should have the right. It's just like, now I'm reading. Let me back up for a second, and this is not about sports, and now here we go. I probably shouldn't have went down this trail, but now I'm reading we're taking down Civil War monuments, and Civil War heroes, both North and South, more South than North, because it was part of the Civil War. Well, part of our country's history. You can't just obliterate it and say it didn't exist, because it did exist. I mean, just look around here in Tennessee, how much Civil War tradition and just big battles around the state of Tennessee and Virginia, huge in the Confederacy and the Union here in the Civil War here in the Tri-Cities in the region. So I just don't think you have to look at it probably through a different set of glasses, if you will. But I don't think you just can't lift up the carpet and go, whoosh, whoosh, Civil War, we're not going to talk about it anymore. Anybody who's involved in it, we're not going to acknowledge them. I just don't think you can do that. It's part of our nation's history. No more than you can do. I mean, let's say somebody gets on a kick and says we need to boycott anything about Pearl Harbor back, when they bombed Pearl Harbor because we don't like, the Orientals or the Japanese or whatever. We don't like them or whatever, and they find a reason to begin to ban that. I mean, that's part of our history. Same with this, and so I think the more you tell somebody they can't do something, the more they're going to do it just to show you that they can do it. So whether you agree with it or not, the concern this weekend is a lot of Confederate flags at the Southern 500 in Darlington, South Carolina. And, say what you want, but to many Southerners, as this article says, the flags become a symbol of pride. To many, it stands not for slavery and the ugly side of the Civil War, but for history, heritage, states' rights, and the sovereignty for which the Confederate soldiers fought. So I think we sometimes forget this, and I'm going to move on here to different topics in sports, but we sometimes forget that it was a separated country on its own. I mean, the South had its own president, its own currency, its own flag. I mean, that was the whole point. They were seceding from the Union to establish their own country, had their own songs. So, I mean, it wasn't just a group of people saying, let's just get, silly and do whatever and kind of go off half-cocked. I mean, they had a state capital in Richmond. Their president was Jefferson Davis. I mean, they had a country. They had spun off on their own country. So, anyway, I got off on a tangent, but Southern 500 this weekend, you can take it to the bank. There's going to be a lot of Confederate flags flying down there at the Southern 500 in Darlington, South Carolina. The Bojangles, to be exact, Southern 500. So, I'll bet you before it's over with, there'll be people wanting to know why they've aligned themselves with the race. I think I had to just swallow the bug, as a matter of fact. That's pretty weird. Anyway, I would think some folks may end up, before it's all said and done, going, how come a corporate entity such as a fast food restaurant, a.k.a. Bojangles, would align themselves with a controversial race, but it's not controversial. It's the Southern 500. It's been around since, 1950? I think that's what I said earlier in the article. It has grown with the sport. The sport's grown with it. So, anyway, that's what's going on in Darlington this weekend after a week off, the Southern 500. Then they head up to Richmond, and then we start the chase. We'll talk more about that. Let's see. Do I have it up here? Oh, that's some football stats. But I'll have for you who's on the bubble tomorrow and who's not on the bubble. And so got some folks out there trying to make the chase. And, we're coming down to the last two races now. And the pressure is on and the tension is on. Let me say this, and being behind the scenes, too, at Bristol Motor Speedway. You may think you've got pressure, and these guys make big bucks, and we know that. We're talking about the drivers of the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series in particular. You think you've got pressure, and I've got pressure, and we do, and we got stress. There's no question. We all do. But if you look at it from their standpoint, they got the pressure, first off, from themselves to compete and be the best they can be. Then a NASCAR Sprint Cup Series driver has the pressure of the sponsor, which is signing the checks and going, guys, we want to be up front. We want to, first of all, be in the chase. We want to be one of the drivers that are competing for the chase year in and year out. That's pressure in of itself. Then you have a crew that one bad move, and here's a perfect example. Look at Jeff Gordon the other night. Started 24th at Bristol. He worked himself up late in the race through a heck of a night of driving that race car, the 24, up to second place, and had lug nut problems. Had to go back into the pits, end up being, double digits in the final summation of the race. But this guy was up there battling. What a great story had he won it, had he won that race. But he's battling for the solid second place in the race and had lug nut problems and, settled for I think it was a top 20 finish. But that is pressure. He's under the gun, particularly with him because he's last year. Now, he did say at Bristol, if we don't get to the chase, it's not going to offset a great year we've had driving the 24. Yeah, well, that's true to a point, but let's face it, he's a competitor. He's a former champion. He wants in that chase. So there's pressure from the teams probably like we don't even understand. And, again, the crew, because every pit stop is, it's hanging in the balance now. They're all important all year long, but now you're down to two races, Darlington and Richmond. You've got to do well, and so everything is under a microscope, and everybody on these race teams are under a microscope. Then you take another little added caveat to this. You take two drivers looking for work next year. It was announced at Bristol, of course, that Michael Waltrip Racing is shutting down. So Clint Boyer and not Michael Waltrip, but David Reagan are looking for rides. So now that brings you up added pressure. I know in particular Roush Fenway Racing, that may be one or both will land possibly. So that adds pressure. So these guys are they're under the gun. Every lap, every move, every qualifying, everything is going to be so under the microscope, documented from here on out. They have got to do well, and the pressure's on. And so it starts this weekend in Darlington at by the way, the track that's named the track Too Tough to Tame, Darlington Raceway. So anyway, it's going to be a lot of fun. We'll talk more about that tomorrow. We'll probably get some Jeff Birchfield will be with us tomorrow talking about that. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to check in with Doug Fritz from the Johnson City Press, and we'll talk a little high school football, and the polls are out this week, and I don't understand. I'll get his take on Elizabethton dropping after playing playing Science Hill toe-to-toe, and, again, tie ball game late in the night on Friday night, and as a result, and I know it's just chit-chat. Who really cares? It's where you're at the end of the season, but you get penalized, in essence, dropping in the polls because you played a team on their home field toe-to-toe, and they're three classes up. Science Hill at 6A and Elizabethton at 3A. So we'll check in with Doug Fritz, see what he allows about all this, and he may just say, you're all under the, all wet behind the ears or whatever. But I think it just shows, again, how, I wouldn't say silly, but it would show how the polls really don't mean anything. When you play a team up three classes, hang with them in their home field, it's a tie ball game going into the fourth quarter, and late in the game they're driving for the tying score, and you get penalized in your own class, that doesn't make any sense to me. But you know what? At my age, I've learned a lot of things don't make any sense anymore. But anyway, quick break. We'll be right back. We'll check in Doug Fritz from the Johnson City Press. We thank you for being with us here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
From the driveways where your kids play basketball and ride their bicycles, to the parking lots at your local church or grocery store, Bracken Paving is an important part of many neighborhoods in our area. No matter how large or how small the job, Bracken strives for excellence in every service they provide. It's a foundation for a strong community. Discover the difference at Bracken Paving and Asphalt Maintenance. Give us a call or visit us online at brackenpaving.com.
American Import and Auto Repair in Johnson City takes care of both male and female customers, but owner Kim Smith says they have a special care and concern for ladies.
Being a female in what's considered a man's business, I understand the trepidation that women may have when they come to the shop. They feel like they don't know about cars, they might be intimidated, but that's not the way we do business. Everybody's treated the same. We take the time to explain anything that they have questions about, the repair, the process, the part. We want to make sure people are comfortable with what we're going to do to their vehicle and that they understand. We do cater to women in a sense. We have a real nice waiting room with nice Keurig coffee and flavored creamers, air-conditioned, cushioned seats, TV, everything a girl could want while she waits for her car to be fixed.
American Import and Auto Repair in Johnson City, open 6 days a week. Call today at 913-3111.
At Bristol Orthotics and Prosthetics, they treat thousands of patients each year dealing with diabetes and its effects. Diabetes overtaking our nation and leaving a path of destruction behind. Through wound care, office visits, and preventive care, they see most of the patients after a problem arises. Using diabetic footwear such as shoes and inserts, a great way to prevent or prolong skin breakdown and amputation. At Bristol Orthotics and Prosthetics, they use only custom molds from patient mold inserts, which further ensure a great recovery, or better yet, prevents a wound from happening. They use custom molded shoes, bracing, custom inserts, and extra depth diabetic shoes to prevent wounds or other skin issues from beginning. Call today, 1-800-524-4447. 39 years, 6 locations, 1 family. Bristol Orthotics and Prosthetics, 1-800-524-4447. Whether lying on the beach, just working in your yard, or watching NASCAR racing this weekend in Bristol, your skin needs protection from the harmful effects of the sun. Blue Lizard Sunscreen delivers broad-spectrum SPF 30-plus protection that comes with smart bottle technology. Our bottle changes colors in the presence of UV rays, reminding you to cover up. It's the brand most recommended by pharmacists and dermatologists nationwide, plus it's made right here in the Tri-Cities. Blue Lizard Sunscreen, we've got you covered.
Tom Taylor Sports Show. Thanks for being with us again on this Tuesday, September the 1st. Great checking out our buddy Doug Pritch from the Johnson City Press.
Hello.
And there he is, right on target, our buddy Doug Pritch from the Johnson City Press. Good afternoon, sir. How you doing? All good. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
There you go. Can you hear me now?
Hello?
There you go. Are you there?
Tom?
Hello. Are you there?
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I can hear you loud and clear. Can you hear me?
Okay. Good deal.
You got me?
Pardon?
Are you there? There you go. You got him. All right. Doug Pritch is with us here, and let's jump in here and talk. Let's talk about high school football. Started 6A, a big game last Friday night. Science Hill and Elizabeth, and tell me about it.
Well, I tell you what, Science Hill came out and just looked really sharp and really strong and executing well. And for a while there, I thought they may just run Elizabethton out of the stadium, but Elizabethton got a key turnover, ran an interception back, and then it was just a battle from there on out, and exciting to the very end. A lot of bright spots for both teams. Both teams have some good playmakers on offense. They've got some athletes on defense that can make plays. Two really good football teams.
Talking to Coach Witten today, we taped the Sean Witten Coaches Show earlier today, and he was very excited about his football team because of the grit and the fight they showed the other night. And I thought he was exactly right. They really showed me something.
They really did, and they didn't, I was over on Elizabethton sidelines, and you could see, they didn't get down on themselves. They had a lot of enthusiasm, and then once one good thing happened, it just changed their whole demeanor over there in terms of not because they were down, but just because it was like they just all of a sudden said, hey, we're not going to just compete. We're going to win this thing. And, they had their chances. They could have very well won that football game. So when they're playing such a big school like that in the first game and they do that well, it gets them excited, especially with their new stadium opening on Friday night.
Talking to Doug Pritch of the Johnson City Press. So they lose his 21 seniors last year, and yet he comes back with a bunch of kids that stepped up and played hard for him. They got Johnson County this week. On the other side of the coin, Science Hill heading down to Bradley Central. 3 missed field goals. They were in the red zone, I think, 5 or 6 times, came up with points only twice. So they've got some work to do to get corrected by Friday night, wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, they do. And, and that's typical of a first game. A lot of times you come into the season with feeling pretty good about yourselves, and then you see these little holes pop up. And, Science Hill's had a history of having some special teams difficulties in certain seasons and stuff, and you hope this isn't going to be something that bites them. But from watching their kid kick his extra points, he looks strong and accurate. So just maybe just a mental thing there with the field goals, or maybe some snap issues or blocking techniques or something. But they had some punt snap issues too. I mean, there's a lot of things there, but those are things you can fix a lot of times just with repetition and focus to make sure the kids understand how important those things are.
Talking to Doug Pritch of the Johnson City Press. Were you surprised this week's polls that Elizabethton went down in 3A after playing Science Hill toe-to-toe, a 6A school in their home field, and yet they went down to the polls this week? I was a little surprised at that.
I wasn't surprised just from the standpoint of I know how those polls work, and I've been doing it for so long, and I know that people when they sit down to do them, they just look and they see, okay, did this team lose? And if they did lose, and unless it's maybe to somebody like Maryville, then they just kind of say, okay, they lost, and this other team's, this other team's undefeated, and this is a loss on their record, and they'll move them up there. And to be perfectly honest, if it's a team at the other end of the state or mid-state or something, and they lose a game, and I don't know that much about that area, and then there's another team that's undefeated, I do the same thing. So I don't think it's a slap really of Elizabeth, and more so than it is just human nature to say, this team's 2-0, this team's 1-1, let's give the 2-0 team the benefit of the doubt.
We're talking to Doug Fritz, again, sports writer of the Johnson City Press, talking about high school football. It's conference week this week. Let's go back last week. Oak Ridge and Dobbins Minute, Barn Burner and Kingsport. Oak Ridge prevails. Tell me about that game.
Well, I tell you, DB made a nice little comeback there from what I understand. And, I really thought DB'd have a good shot at beating them. Oak Ridge has obviously got a good team. But you look at the end result of that thing, and DB barely loses that game, and that's just more evidence that DB is going to be a little bit better, I think, than some people thought coming into the season. And, I think Oak Ridge and Sevier County, that's going to be interesting to see how that thing plays out in those 5A ranks as this season moves along. There's two pretty good football teams.
We're talking to Doug Fritz and looking at the Johnson City Press today. Your high school 5-star player of the week was Kobe Jones from Hampton. What a night he had. 308 yards, 298 through the air, all before halftime, had 4 touchdown passes. So Kobe Jones, pretty good quarterback in Hampton, apparently.
Yeah, and Hampton, they're showing some stuff. They come out and put 50 points on the board in each of their first 2 weeks, and they can do it through the air, they can do it on the ground. Their defense has been reasonably good, and Mike Lunsford, he's kind of like a sly fox over there. It just seems like he finds a way to get his teams to play really well each year. And when he's got the type of kids like he's got Kobe Jones, he's got Jerry Lunsford, Adam McClain, some other kids too that are some offensive weapons. I think Hampton's going to be a team to be reckoned with, especially with Gatlinburg Pittman losing their first 2 games. I don't know if that's an indication that they're going to be down, but Hampton, Sullivan North, that's going to be interesting. That league's got an interesting look to it already.
Talking to Doug Fritz from the Johnson City Press here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. He joins us each week, which we certainly appreciate. 4-star player this week, Justin Bedard of Science Hill, had a heck of a ball game for the Hilltoppers.
He really did, and he didn't throw the ball all that well. But you look at this number and say, well, how can that be? Well, his receivers really did a great job of yards after catch, and but Justin is a good throwing quarterback. He shouldn't have that great of a game. And, when he starts throwing the ball and gets more comfortable and they're making the type of passes he's capable of, I mean, he may have a 300-yard game somewhere along the way because he's got that kind of ability and he's got those kind of receivers.
Also, when we taped the Stacey Carter show yesterday for YouTube, comes out tomorrow at noon, and he was telling me in that interview that this is, and I didn't realize this was Justin Bedard's first full game as a quarterback. So he's on a learning curve somewhat. He was a 4-star performer. 3-star Sir Shuff from Tennessee High had a big night against Sullivan South. Tell me about Sir Shuff.
Well, I tell you, I saw him a couple of years ago against Elizabeth, and I've liked him all the way through. He's a good, talented football player with some good speed, some good size. It surprised me that he was able to run all over South like that, having seen South in the first week and knowing that DB took Tennessee High to the woodshed like they did. So it's going to be interesting, if he's capable of a 150 yard. I mean, he got 291 or whatever. If he's capable of 150 yards even week in, week out, that puts Tennessee High kind of on the radar there in that 5A league.
15 carries, 291 yards, and 4 touchdowns. Sir Shuff for Tennessee High in a big win over Sullivan South at South last Friday night. We're talking to Doug Fritz from the Johnson City Press. 2-star this week. You all picked Austin Whitehead, the quarterback from Cloudland. Tell me about this young man.
Well, I tell you, Cloudland came into the season. Everybody's talking about how little they were on the offensive line and, how they're going to block people and stuff. And, I kind of listened to that. I thought, well, maybe they won't be that good. But then I see what Whitehead's doing. I see what Birchfield's doing. And, these kids are just playmakers, and Whitehead, he can throw it a little bit and he can run it. And I just think, he doesn't necessarily have to have a big road grader in front of him to get yardage, especially in the Class 1A rank. So I think Cloudland's going to have a fine season. Those kids stay healthy and produce. They're going to be tough to keep Cloudland under 30 points this season.
And then last one, your one-star from the high school football honors from last week, week 2, was Elijah Mathis, the running back from Science Hill. Young man had a big night.
Yeah, and the thing about him was he was just a difference maker. You look at his total yardage, maybe not that awe-inspiring with, 64 receiving, 61 rushing, but he had the two, 42-yard touchdown, the 43-yard touchdown that were the difference in the game against Elizabeth. And that's the thing he's going to provide for Science Hill all season long. It's going to be, King Russell and Bedard, pounding the ball inside there. And then every once in a while, they'll just flip it in Elijah's hands, and he'll probably go 50 yards here and there. And then, they'll put him out wide and put him in the slot and throw him out of the backfield. And, he's capable of going 50, 60 yards through the air like that. So he's the difference maker. He's a good defensive player, too. I mean, there's a lot to like about Elijah Mathis.
Absolutely. Now, I know you're busy, got other things to do. Can you come back on Thursday for a little while and kind of set up the games this week? Is that okay? I know you're busy. Will you be around Thursday?
No, that should be fine. Just give me a shout. I do have Thursday being ETSU's first game, I've got to try and get some high school stuff done during the day, and because I got to work in the office Thursday night. But that should be fine. Just give me a shout sometime early in the day, and we'll talk about Friday.
Absolutely, big night again this week coming up in high school football. Doug, thank you, my friend. I'll talk to you Thursday. We'll kind of preview this week's games. All right.
All right, sounds good. Thank you, Tom.
Yep, super job right there. He's a dandy. Doug Fritz, again, the John City Press. Appreciate him, and got some big games coming up. No question. None bigger than the one we'll have for you from Bradley Central, Science Hill, and the Bradley Central Bears. Again, you go to livestream.com, type in Tom Taylor Productions, and there will be with the big football game on Friday night. Again, number 5 in the state, Science Hill, and number 11 in the state, Bradley Central. They're 2-0. Hilltoppers are 1-0, and going to be a great football game. A lot of your teams, a lot of coaches will tell you improve from game 1 to game 2. That's where you make your most improvement. And so we'll see how that happens with Science Hill, because I was up there watching practice yesterday, Moorlegan hammering, and I mean hammering 45-yard field goals consistently in practice. I know practice is not game, but I don't think you need to get down on this kid for very long. He's got a heck of a leg, and so he just had a bad night the other night. Also, you have the fact that you got into that red zone, 6 times and only got 2 touchdowns, 2 scores out of it. So you missed 3 field goals, and you have a bad snap on special teams, sailed over the punter's head. So those kind of things will get corrected, and they have to get corrected. We're going to move on down the line. So we'll see. I'll bet you a different football team that will grow, having grown up or will grow up between last Friday and this Friday night on the road to Bradley Central. Can't wait to be there. 7 o'clock. We'll get things started with the Blue Lizard Australian Sunscreen pregame show. Kickoff at 7:30 on Friday night from Bradley Central High School. The next 2 weeks, Science Hill home. Next Friday night, the 11th, 9/11 will be Homecoming 2015 against Irvine, North Carolina. And then the 18th, it'll be the Maryville Rebels coming to town, and that'll be 2 weeks from Friday night. Then we head out and wrap up the month of September. Wow. Hard to believe we're wrapping up September. Wrapping up the month of September on the 25th with a trip to Gray to battle the Daniel Boone Trailblazers. Tom Taylor Sports Show, thanks for being with us again on this Tuesday afternoon, September the 1st, brand new month, and brand new month to come out and tell you about the great things happening, again, with our great sponsors. We got Champion Chevrolet about to join us here in just a minute or two with a little commercial. Coming up at the top of the hour, Sam Jones will join us. He'll tell us about this big fireworks show you can go see next weekend at Bristol Motor Speedway. Goodness gracious. Oh, yeah. All right. Thank you, Apester. I'm glad to be back. She's so nice. She is so sweet. I don't care what Tommy Wyman says. She's a nice lady, her and Sarah. They're sweethearts. So, anyway, we got coming up again next week some fireworks literally at Bristol Dragway. We'll talk about that with Sam Jones, young man from the Sullivan County area. He'll join us coming up here in a few minutes. Also, at the bottom of the hour, of the next hour, will be Jim Klein, one of our great sponsors from Jim Klein Farmers Insurance. Robert Griffin III out as the Redskins quarterback as far as a starter. I mean, you're talking about a crazy mixed-up franchise. I mean, you got coaches coming out and say they don't like this guy. You've got players that we don't want to play if he's going to be back there being a quarterback. I mean, it's really interesting. And so Jay Gruden, the head coach, has handed the reins of the offense to Kirk Cousins. And so with that, RG3's Instagram account liked a fan photo with a caption criticizing the team for not putting the 2012 Rookie of the Year in a position to succeed. So I don't know who did that, but again, his Instagram account, I guess it would be him. liked a fan photo with a caption criticizing the team for not putting the 2012 Rookie of the Year in a position to succeed. I guess he did it. I mean, I guess that would be it. And because it's now 2015, 3 years later, and every step taken by an athlete is worth a social post. I mean, they do everything now to let you know where they are, if they're brushing their teeth or what they're doing right now, and almost a moment by moment. News got out that RG3 had essentially supported criticism of his teammates and his organization. To make matters worse, RG3 then posted to his Instagram account claiming an intern had liked the post and the quarterback has not been on social media for a while. So, in essence, somebody else is doing this. So, he says, I just want to set the record straight on this one. I did not like that IG post ridiculing our team. I have not been on social media actively, consistently for a while now, and I'm ultra focused on working to get back on the field and trying to help this team. One of our interns who helps with Instagram liked the post. As soon as I was made aware of it, it was immediately unliked. This is not how I feel, and I appreciate you understanding. Again, RG3. This is all, again, this is right. This article says this is all so stupid. The Redskins can't just be bad. It doesn't matter who the coach is or who's the quarterback. Being bad will be too easy, and they're right. The Redskins continue to be just a bunch of yo-yos. I mean, here you are, 2 weeks from the start of the season. You got Instagrams and who's going to be the starting quarterback, and, these linemen don't like him and they don't want to play for him. And so the last time he was out there on the field, he had 3 sacks in the, first half? I guess it was the first quarter. So they don't like him, and, it's like romper room. You guys are paid professional athletes. Get out there and play the game and support who's back there. If you don't like who's back there, then quit the team. But the guy behind me is an offensive lineman. He's our quarterback. Okay, he's the leader. If you like him or don't like him, if you don't like him, go sit on the bench. Well, it's easy for you to say. Well, no, it's not easy for me to say, but that's what I'm saying. That's what you need to do. And I mean, if you're going to support him, so now there's speculation is these guys, they as linemen kind of went, oops, and let a guy get by him and sack him. Whoops, we're sorry we didn't make that block. We didn't mean to. We just missed our assignment. So we've had that now out there swirling that they let this guy get sacked on purpose because they don't like playing for him, they being the offensive lineman. So if that's the case, and that really is the way it is, number one, you have no integrity. Number two, you're not a pro, you're not a professional, because, remember, my father used to say, a sign of professional is doing something you don't like, you don't want to do, but you do it anyway and do the best you can. And he used to get on us all the time, us boys, about being sick. He said, you guys, talking about the 4 sons, you need to get out there and play, or get out and do what you need to do. If you're not feeling good, go do something anyway and quit feeling sorry for yourself. And this is essence what we're talking about here. RG3 needs to get the support of his football team. If you're offensive lineman or a coach comes out and says they don't like a player, which I saw over the weekend, I'm thinking, are you kidding me? What kind of morale is that going to be for a football team? You got a coach, some of the coaches, and some of the offensive linemen coming out on Instagram or whatever, however they do it, and say, this guy, we're not really too keen on him. You don't do that on an Instagram or in a social media. Do it in behind closed doors in a locker room is what you do. Take care of that. But anyway, that's me and that's them, and here we are and here they are. So we'll take a quick break, come right back. We'll be joined by Sam Jones. We'll start our final hour of the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Coming up, yet another Tennessee volunteer hurt, out for the season. It's like a MASH unit right now in Knoxville. Another player hurt. Maybe it's because we're so close to Knoxville, but it seems to me, and it's just me, seems like to me the attrition rate's pretty high down there. There's guys been getting hurt, and maybe there are other teams across the country, college football teams, losing guys to injuries as well. And maybe it's because it's the school in Tennessee as far as football that everything is under a microscope. But it sure seems like to me there's a lot of guys getting hurt in Knoxville with season-ending injuries. I don't know what it is, and I don't know how you can fix it, but it would be the way I would observe it from right here in good old East Tennessee. Quick break. We'll be right back. You're listening to the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
Trucks, and more trucks. At Champion Chevrolet on the Motor Mile in Johnson City, we have Silverado trucks everywhere with discounts up to $11,000 off MSRP on select Silverado All-Star Crew Cabs. 15 Spark, $10,995. 15 Sonic, $12,995. 15 Track, $17,995. 15 Equinox, $20,995. Shop us online 24/7 and don't forget our Saturday service hours. Champion Chevrolet on the Motor Mile in Johnson City, where they leave you asking, how do they do that?
It's time.
Kingsport Cabinetry installs cabinets and countertops all over the 3-state region. Owner Richard Isaac says they work with both commercial and residential customers and love to help remodel existing homes.
What we do is if somebody comes in and wants to do a remodel, of course, they've got an existing home, existing kitchen. It might be a bathroom, whatever, it doesn't matter. We'll come out and take a look at their project. We'll do the measuring for them, come back in. While I'm at the home, I'll get the ideas that they want to incorporate into the kitchen, into the bathroom. We'll come back, we'll draw it up for them, have them come in for a meeting and go over everything with them. And once the drawings and stuff are approved, then we'll start the pricing process. We'll find out what kind of wood they want to use, what kind of countertops. Do they want Corian? Do they want granite? Do they want laminate countertops?
Kingsport Cabinetry. Quotes are free. Call today, 247-6134, 247-6134.
At FCA, we're touching millions one heart at a time. Since 1954, the Fellowship of Christian Athletes has been putting the heart and soul in sports by challenging athletes and coaches to impact the world for Jesus Christ. As the largest sports ministry in the world, FCA now reaches over 2 million people annually on the professional, college, high school, junior high, and youth levels. Through this shared passion for athletics and faith, lives are changed, one heart at a time. Learn more at fca.org.
American Import and Auto Repair in Johnson City takes care of both male and female customers, but owner Kim Smith says they have a special care and concern for ladies.
Being a female in what's considered a man's business, I understand the trepidation that women may have when they come to the shop. They feel like they don't know about cars, they might be intimidated, but that's not the way we do business. Everybody's treated the same. We take the time to explain anything that they have questions about, the repair, the process, the part. We want to make sure people are comfortable with what we're going to do to their vehicle and that they understand. We do cater to women in a sense. We have a real nice waiting room with nice Keurig coffee and flavored creamers, air-conditioned, cushioned seats, TV, everything a girl could want while she waits for her car to be fixed.
American Import and Auto Repair in Johnson City, open 6 days a week. Call today at 913-3111.
Back on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Thanks for being with us again on this Tuesday, September the 1st. Two ringy dingies.
Good afternoon.
Yes, sir. Sam Jones with us. Coming up here a little bit later on the show, we'll check in with yet another volunteer goes down. Again, a season-ending injury for Butch Jones. We'll talk about that. Also, big day yesterday on high school soccer and volleyball. We'll tell you who played and who won. And also, we got a story about, we talked about Pete Rose last week being banned from baseball. Shoeless Joe Jackson. The Major League Baseball makes a decision on Shoeless Joe. We'll tell you all about that coming up here in sports in just a few minutes. Let's go to the ponies there, buddy. Sam Jones. Good afternoon, sir. How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing great, Tom. How you doing?
Just fine, sir. You got a fireworks show coming up next week. Tell me what in the world's going on up at the Dragway, Bristol Dragway.
Oh, okay. What we've got is the National Fireworks Association will be having their annual conference. We'll start with the golf tournament on Monday. Beneficiary will be the Susan G. Coleman. That'll be at Meadowview. And then we have demos Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday night for the retailers and wholesalers around the country. The Friday, we will be opening up to the public, and we will have, we hope, the largest 9/11 remembrance ceremony in the region, which will be followed by 2 hours of fireworks. Then on Saturday, we will have a remembrance or a recognition and honor of the military. And then we will have a show, and I'll tell you a little bit more about the show in just a second. The people of the community can get in Friday and Saturday to see some of the largest and best consumer fireworks that you'll find in the world. They've come to demonstrate those to us that are in the business. But you can get in by get a free pass for both nights by coming up Friday to the Marsh Blood 10th annual 9/11 blood drive at the Speedway, and that'll be at the Breeden Smith building. And the first 200 will get a free pass to both nights.
We're talking to Sam Jones again. That's pretty exciting. Did you tell me you're going to have 2 hours of fireworks up here next week? Is that right?
Friday night we will have actually 2 hours and 10 minutes, and we will finish up with some of the biggest shells that have been seen in this region, and so it'll be a big exciting. You won't want to leave.
We're talking to Sam Jones again. It's going to be not this weekend, but next weekend. So the National Fireworks Association. How many folks? I didn't know there was such an organization. How many members of that group nationwide?
I don't know the full membership, and I'm not sure that's revealed. But we're expecting probably 1,200 to 1,300, maybe even more, maybe as many as 1,500 people from around. I think we've got 39 states registered and 5 foreign countries.
We're talking to Sam Jones. I'm assuming when you said retailers coming to town, they're going to be folks that are going to buy their fireworks to go back for a 4th of July next year or New Year's or, groups are going to come in. You're going to kind of put on a show for them, and they're going to say, okay, we want to buy that and take it back home. Is that right?
Right. Well, they don't buy them here. They'll meet with the companies that represent our industry.
Right.
So these are the retailers and wholesalers that will be coming in, seeing the demos or demonstrations of the new products coming out for this coming year.
We're talking to Sam Jones again. It's coming up not this weekend, but next weekend. I love the fact you're tying in with 9/11, with the military salute for the disaster and the tragedy that we incurred as a country, and folks remember that, of course. So I think it's really neat you're doing it on September the 11th. That's part of this, kind of how you put all this thing together to pay tribute to our military, right?
Right. We want to recognize on Friday night, start out with the police, the fire, the EMTs, and let's not forget our flight crews who we lost during that tragic day.
We're talking to Sam Jones again. It's coming up not this Friday, but next Friday and Saturday. So where do I get a ticket? How much does it cost? And how long does it allow me to be?
Okay, Tom, it's $10 a car, not a person. $10
Wow.
a car. Pack as many people as you can, and there's no pre-sale, so you will pay at the south entrance. That's on the entrance on the Johnson City side of the front of the racetrack.
Yep.
The south entrance, and gates will open at 6 p.m. The event will start at 7:15, the remembrance, and then at 8 o'clock we'll have the Star Spangled Banner show. Will start at 8:15.
Gates open at 6:15. Star Spangled Banner at 7:15. Is that correct?
No, the gates open at 6 o'clock.
I'm sorry, I'm writing this down.
The show, the program, the salute to veterans and salute to heroes on both nights will start at 7:15. It's a 45-minute salute to those people with songs, and we really want to pack out the stands and let these EMTs and police and firemen know that we appreciate them. And then on Saturday night, same thing for the military. And I'm really excited about the military night. We've got a World War II Jeep with a World War II veteran. We'll have the flags presented by the Vietnam Veterans 979 of Kingsport, Tennessee. We'll have Korean veterans. We'll have Vietnam veterans. We'll have Iraqi veterans, Afghanistan veterans. I believe we will have a gun truck from the Vietnam era will be in that parade, and maybe some others from that era. But it'll be exciting. We'll probably be able to have some vehicles on display, some military vehicles. That's all exciting. And the Speedway Children's Charities will also benefit from this. After we get everything paid for, we'll be making a donation to them. But let me tell you about Saturday night. We haven't seen a show like Saturday night here. We have two clubs, one from firework clubs, one from Ohio, one from Pennsylvania. And they are going to be competing for a $5,000 prize for who can put on the best show with the best products.
Wow.
These products are products that you, as the consumers, can purchase at our stores around the region. The audience will determine the winner. And then following that, Pyro shows out of La Follette, Tennessee, will put on a finale display.
That's pretty cool stuff, Sam. I know that's all coming up. We're going to have you back on next week, talk about it again. But this is not this weekend, but next weekend. So you got two groups, one from Ohio, one from Pennsylvania, doing a competition. Who's got the biggest bang,
Yes,
right?
Sir.
That's pretty good stuff. That's pretty good stuff. All right. I'll get back to you next week. We'll talk about this some more. This is going to be exciting. Next Friday and Saturday, the Dragway, $10 a carload. And, Sam, we'll get back with you next week, all right?
Hey, I appreciate it, Tom. Take care.
Yes, sir.
Have a great day.
Yes, sir. You do the same. I'll get him back on next week. That's pretty cool. Again, Friday and Saturday next week, Bristol Dragway, $10 a carload. I guess you'll sit in the seats there at the Dragway and get ready for a fireworks show like we've never seen. What do you say, Friday night, a 2-hour fireworks show? Holy smokes. You talking about putting up some we get excited around here. We have like a 15, 20-minute fireworks show. So we're talking for 2 hours, a fireworks show. Wow, that's a lot of banging going on, a lot of boom, boom, bang, bang. And then Saturday, the military observance. So we'll have him back on. But again, circle your calendar if you're going to be available. We won't be. We'll have a football game. That'll be the one down there. It's high school football on Friday night. But again, it is what it is. And so that's coming up again, the Bristol Dragway, $10 a carload, Friday and Saturday of next week. And we'll have Sam back on and talk about that again then. Good afternoon to you. It's the Tom Taylor Sports Show. We thank you for being with us. Sam Jones joining us. So the fireworks going up again next weekend, and that'll be happening again on Friday and Saturday at Bristol Dragway. So $10 a carload, that's a really good deal. Major League Baseball Commissioner Rob Manfred has denied a request to reinstate Shoeless Joe Jackson from baseball's ineligible list. I don't know what that does for Pete Rose, as first reported late Monday by the Hall of Very Good, whatever that is. An announcement regarding Manfred's decision expected later today. Arlene Markley, the president of the Shoeless Joe Jackson Museum. Earlier this year, the family of Jackson's former Black Sox teammate Buck Weaver officially asked Manfred to consider reinstatement for the former third baseman Shoeless Joe Jackson. He said no. We are not going to do that. So Jackson, if you remember this, in fact, they made a movie out of it, Jackson and 7 of his teammates were banned for life by then-Commissioner Kennesaw Mountain Landis after their perceived involvement in throwing the 1919 World Series. How about that? They said, we're going to fix this, so we're going to throw it. And they did, apparently, or at least they were perceived to throw it. Manfred also plans later this year to decide the fate on Pete Rose, who remains banned from gambling on games. Now, I don't know the fact they still will not reinstate Shoeless Joe Jackson. Is that a good sign or a bad sign for Pete Rose? I don't know. Remains to be seen. But, again, Shoeless Joe, they appealed to him, and he said no. So, anyway, that's what's happening with that. It is the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Thank you for being with us again on this Tuesday, September the 1st, 2015. Again, our countdown to Christmas, right around 115 days to Christmas, 2015. We got some really cool things to give away for Christmas, too. We got a great promotion we're working on for you for Christmas here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. We're very excited about that, and we'll tell you more about that, obviously, a little closer to the holidays. Let's take a look, see what's happening in the high school golf here in our region. Today, Tennessee High Dobbins Minute at the Country Club in Bristol in a dual match. Yesterday at Cattell's in Meadowview, Dobbins Minute and Crockett played, and the medalist was Eli Fagan, and he shot a 33. DBB Crockett 149 to 150, a close one. At Bayleton Golf Course yesterday, Sullivan South, Sullivan East, North Green, and a three-way match. Seth Crawford from South was a medalist there. Also, the girls' golf, Sullivan South, Sullivan East, and Unaka. South won that one. Caitlin Grills was the medalist for that one. And so congratulations to South's girls, South's boys, Dobbins Minutes boys in golf from yesterday, again, around the region. Soccer today, a lot of soccer happening. You've got Science Hill playing at Daniel Boone. Elizabeth will be at Sullivan South. You've got Dobbins Minute playing at Central today, and Tennessee High will be in Jonesboro to battle Crockett in girls high school soccer. Yesterday, Granger County defeated Volunteers 6-0 in girls high school soccer. What else happening in the world of local sports? Again, coming up on Saturday, there's the HOKA, hope I'm saying it right, HOKO Postal 2-miler at Daniel Boone at 5 o'clock on Saturday, a cross-country meet. Science Hill goes to the eye-opener meet in Spartanburg, South Carolina this weekend in Charleston, South Carolina. Volleyball from yesterday, Sullivan South defeated Sullivan Central. Science Hill defeated Elizabethton. South Green defeated Daniel Boone. Volunteer defeated Cherokee. Kachia, the homeschoolers, defeated Tri-Cities Christian. And it was all that happening in volleyball. Today, Science Hill will be in Jonesboro to battle Crockett. Dobbins Minute plays at Tennessee High. Volunteer at Sullivan Central. Elizabethton's ladies play volleyball at Unicoi County. Sullivan South ladies will be up on the mountain in Johnson County to battle Sullivan South. And Sullivan North will play at Sullivan East. Volleyball today in Virginia. Rycove at Union. Twin Springs at Hurley. And Y Central at Castlewood. All that coming up again today. High school volleyball. We'll let you know who wins tomorrow. If you get a chance to go out and watch it, maybe I just go on my little soapbox here and brag on volleyball. It's a really cool sport. And if you get a chance to go out and take some in this year, you ought to go check out some high school volleyball. It's addictive. These girls play very, very hard, and they're diving for the volleyballs, and you hear the skin, screeching across the floor, and it's pretty competitive, and they work very, very hard. They deserve to have a good crowd. So if you've not ever seen a volleyball match, a competitive volleyball match, not like we used to do in high school and PE classes that goof off. I mean, these ladies get after it, and so you would avail yourself an opportunity to go. You will not be disappointed to watch some high school volleyball here in the region. One of the guys makes this show go, our buddy the Gator Man down at the Cherokee Barbershop on South Roan Street. Again, when the Gator Man and the Gator Man's in, the barber pole's in, that means the Gator Man's in, and the barber pole's outside the shop. You know he's in, ready to go, working Tuesday through Saturday. Works very, very hard, does a great job. Only guy I know that cuts hair with a tie on. He does that out of respect to his clients, and he has a bunch of them. And so if you're looking for an old-timey, old-fashioned men's barbershop, you can stop by there. He also takes a lot of pride in cutting little guys' hair. He puts that little, I don't want to say brace. What do you want to put? That little, not bar, seat. I guess seat across the armchairs for the little people. Puts them right up there in the chair and cuts their hair and lowers their ears. And so he does a great job. South Roan Street, right down from Tipton Haynes Working Farm. Again, when the barber pole's out, the Gator Man is in. And again, he's open, as we said, 6 days a week, Tuesday through Saturday. And, of course, it'll be 5 days a week. He takes Sunday off and Monday off to Monday's fluff and fold day, by the way, for his clothes and what have you. He does his laundry. So, great guy, does a great job, old-fashioned haircut in South Johnson City. And he's told me before, he's got clients all the way from Gate City. How many barbershops do you pass from Gate City to South Johnson City? A bunch. That tells you what kind of a job the man does. Again, the man we simply call Gator at Cherokee Barbershop on South Roan Street. Quick break. We'll be right back. We'll carry on. Here's our buddy, Mr. Tim Copenhagen, the great folks from Champion Chevrolet on the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
Trucks, and more trucks. At Champion Chevrolet on the Motor Mile in Johnson City, we have Silverado trucks everywhere with discounts up to $11,000 off MSRP on select Silverado All-Star Crew Cabs. 15 Spark, $10,995. 15 Sonic, $12,995. 15 Track, $17,995. 15 Equinox, $20,995. Shop us online 24/7, and don't forget our Saturday service hours. Champion Chevrolet on the Motor Mile in Johnson City, where they leave you asking, how do they do that?
It's Friday night at 7 o'clock. You've been involved in a car accident. You may be out of state on vacation or just a few miles from home. What do you do? Who do you call? At Farmers Insurance Group, one call is all you have to make. Hello, this is Jim Klein, an agent with Farmers Insurance. It's called One and Done. You don't have to wait till Monday morning to file a claim. You can make the initial call, and we'll begin right away to help you. We assist you in moving the vehicle to a certified repair shop, getting you set up with rental car, and informing your agent. Then here at the staff at Jim Klein Farmers Insurance, we follow the claim through to the end. It's that easy. One and done. We're your one and done location for all your insurance needs. Auto, home, life, commercial, workers' comp, and bonds. We can help you with all your insurance needs. Give me a call today, Jim Klein Farmers Insurance at 247-5400. Your one and done location in Kingsport, 247-5400.
From the driveways where your kids play basketball and ride their bicycles, to the parking lots at your local church or grocery store, Bracken Paving is an important part of many neighborhoods in our area. No matter how large or how small the job, Brecken strives for excellence in every service they provide. It's a foundation for a strong community. Discover the difference at Bracken Paving and Asphalt Maintenance. Give us a call or visit us online at brackenpaving.com.
Your life is always changing. You never know what shape it will take, or how your financial needs might change. But if we talk about your investments and how they can provide for you and your family, the future becomes clear. At Wells Fargo Advisors, we believe conversation leads to financial clarity. Let's start a conversation today.
Back on the Tom Taylor Sports Show again on this Tuesday, September 1st, 2015. Big weekend of college football. Run those down for you coming up here in a few minutes. Another Tennessee Volunteer down for the season. Tennessee wide receiver freshman Vincent Perry, a consensus three-star recruit from Nashville, missing the season with a knee injury. Another one going down. Perry was hurt during practice last week, underwent arthroscopic knee surgery along with wide receiver Jason Kroom on Friday. Butch Jones announcing the severity of the injury on Monday to Perry, adding that Kroom's potential return could be 3 weeks, could be up to 5 weeks. 25th ranked Volunteers opened the season Saturday against Bowling Green in Nashville's Nissan Stadium, where the Titans play. So 2 more out, one for the season, Vincent Perry, and man, they've got like a MASH unit down in Nashville, or rather in Knoxville. A little closer to home from Kingsport Dobbins Minute, Daniel Kilgore played at Dobbins Minute. Appalachian State, now a member of the San Francisco 49ers. They placed their center, who is working back from a second procedure on his left fibula. He fractured last October. He's on the reserve, physically unable to perform list as of yesterday. Kilgore had another operation in June, and their coaching staff isn't sure when the Kingsport native will be able to return. He is the starting center for the San Francisco 49ers. He has been put on the reserve, physically unable to perform list as of yesterday, which is tough news for Daniel Kilgore, again, who is battling back from his second procedure on his left fibula and hopes to get back soon for the San Francisco 49ers. What else is happening in the world of sports? Again, baseball today. Let's run that down for you. First off, in the National League, Cincinnati, man, they're bad. Oh, they are woefully bad. They are in Chicago to battle the Cubbies tonight. Other games, Arizona, this is all under the lights. Actually, Arizona and Colorado, a doubleheader starting at 3 o'clock. That'll be the first of 2 between Colorado and the Diamondbacks in Colorado tonight. Miami and Atlanta. Philadelphia travels to New York to battle the Mets. Pittsburgh will be at Milwaukee. Washington at St. Louis. San Francisco at L.A. and Texas tonight at San Diego in the National League. In the American League, Tampa Bay at Baltimore. Cleveland at Toronto. Yankees will be in Boston to battle the Bo Sox at Fenway. Not much on riding on this one as it normally is. New York, a game and a half out. They're still in the hunt. Boston is 9 under. They're 13 out. So other than the fact that it's the Yankees and Boston, not much riding on those games. They're starting the series in Fenway Park because Red Sox are out of it. White Sox at Minnesota. Detroit plays at Kansas City. Seattle at Houston. Los Angeles will be on the road at Oakland. And as we said, Texas will battle San Diego again at Qualcomm Park in San Diego. College football all gets started on Thursday. We had one game last week, got it going. Montana, the Grizzlies, kicked off the 2015 college football season. That'll be a good trivia question later on in the year. Who won the first college football game of 2015? That would be the Montana Grizzlies, 38-35 over North Dakota State. Not a whole lot of defense there. Coming up on Thursday, we'll run them down in no particular order. Villanova, UConn. In the South, a good one. You'll have North Carolina and South Carolina at Charlotte at 6 o'clock on Thursday night. North Greenville, Charleston Southern. Some of the other games of note, Elon will be at Wake Forest. Of course, East Tennessee State home to Kennesaw State at Kermit-Tipton Stadium in Johnson City. Overflow crowd they're anticipating. Other ball games, you've got Duke at Tulane on Thursday. Western Kentucky plays at Vanderbilt. Georgia Tech, the Ramblin' Wreck, hosting Alcorn State. That's all in the South. On Thursday, college football cranks up in the Midwest. VMI at Ball State. You have Oklahoma State, the Cowboys at Central Michigan. Stony Brook will be at Toledo. And TCU, Texas Christian University, will be in Minnesota to battle the Golden Gophers on a Thursday night affair. Again, on the far west, you've got Michigan, the Wolverines at Utah. Ohio, the Bobcats play at Idaho on Thursday night, and also Colorado and Hawaii to battle there in a 1 o'clock our time kickoff from Hawaii. And that would be the college football schedule for Thursday. Of course, a lot more coming up on Saturday, and we'll talk more about that tomorrow, get a little closer. Got some great games right out of the chute. One of those, of course, the Chick-fil-A kickoff game, Louisville and Auburn at Atlanta at 3:30 on Saturday. That's going to be a dandy. Louisiana Monroe at Georgia, nah, not so much. Let's see who else is going to be a good ball game down through here. We're scanning. Mississippi State at Southern Miss. That's going to be a good ball game. You watch and see. Southern Miss plays very tough at Hattiesburg, and that'll be a good ball game, and they'll give Mississippi State all they want. I think Mississippi State will win, but Southern Miss will give them everything they want on Saturday night in Hattiesburg. I was trying to scan this real quick and see if any other games jumping out. Texas at Notre Dame. That should be a good one at 7:30 at South Bend on Saturday in the Midwest. I'm probably going to miss an obvious because I haven't had a chance to scan through this very good. But let's see. Yeah, how about Wisconsin, Alabama at Arlington, Texas at 8 o'clock on Saturday? That's pretty big, Tom. Virginia, UCLA, Saturday afternoon. Also, you've got, that's pretty much it as far as big games. Well, but the big one for me, of course, would be the Marshall Thundering Herd taking on Purdue in Huntington at 3 o'clock on Sunday. I'd like to go see that one. And then, of course, the biggie on Monday night, Labor Day, Ohio State and the Buckeyes and the defending national championship football team rolls into Blacksburg to battle the Hokies on Monday night, again, for an 8 o'clock kickoff, again at Lane Stadium in Blacksburg, which is being billed as the game, not of the year, a game of the lifetime for the school. And folks in Hokie land saying it's never been as big as what's going to be as far as national prominence if you can win this thing on Monday night against the Buckeyes at Ohio State in Blacksburg. So, excuse me, it should be a dandy football game there on Mondays. That's kind of the highlights of the busy first week of high school, or rather college football season. And we've been waiting on it all summer long, and now it's here. And so it's going to be a lot of fun, and it's going to be exciting. YWCA of Bristol offering a fall pickleball league. What is a pickleball league? I have no clue. When you play pickleball, what do? Pickle, pickleball. Never heard of it. Open to adults at all skill levels. Costs $20 a player. Oh, here it is. It's a combination of tennis, badminton, and ping pong. Tennis, okay, over the net. Badminton over the net. And ping pong. It's called pickleball. I'll check that out. I'm going to Google that tonight and see what pickleball is all about. Anyway, they're offering a fall pickleball league starting next Thursday at 6:30. Open to adults at all skill levels. Costs $20 per player. Pickleball is a combination of tennis, badminton, and ping pong. So Patty's your contact, by the way, at the YWCA in Bristol. 968-9444, the number to call. 968-9444, the number to call. YWCA Bristol for pickleball. Combination of tennis, badminton, and ping pong, which I've never heard of. Sounds like fun, though. Like a lot of fun, as a matter of fact, but never played it. But there again, a lot of things I haven't done. So that's a chance for you to play. And if you need more information, call them at 968-9444 is the number to call. It's the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Thanks for being with us. Coming up, we'll check in with Jim Klein from Farmers Insurance. He's due to join us next year on this Tuesday, one of our great sponsors. Again, it's National Life Insurance Month coming up here in the month of September. Also, your homeowner's insurance. What do you have on your home? Do you have renter's insurance if you rent? Here's one. If you have a child or a young person that is off to college and they're living off campus in an apartment, what kind of insurance does that not the landowner, but the owner of the building have? Well, we've got insurance. Really? What kind of insurance? I can tell you firsthand, I know someone that went through this, had a fire in their apartment complex, and they found out that the landlord had no insurance or very little insurance to replace contents. So if you have a young person heading off to college or is in college now and they're living off campus in an apartment or a condo or whatever, what kind of insurance does that the landlord have? It's very, very critical to know that. And he'll offer some tips on that coming up here in just a few minutes. He being our buddy Jim Klein from Jim Klein Farmers Insurance. He joins us next right here on a Tuesday edition of the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
Hi, I'm Rob Cole with Bays Mountain Park. There's something for everyone at Bays Mountain Park. Whether you're an outdoor enthusiast or simply looking to get away and relax, Bays Mountain Park in Kingsport, Tennessee is the perfect destination. For only $4 per vehicle, enjoy 3,500 acres of breathtaking scenery, featuring 40 miles of hiking trails, wildlife habitats, one of the Southeast's premier planetariums, and much, much more. For more information, please visit www.baysmountain.com or call us at 423-229-9447. Bays Mountain Park, one of the Tri-City's best places for learning, leisure, and recreation.
American Import Auto Repair takes a lot of pride in their work and customer service. Owner Kim Smith tells us why someone should consider American Import Auto Repair in Johnson City.
Well, of course, the first thing is you want to make sure that people are getting value for their dollar. Our emphasis is on quality, not quantity. We want to make sure that not only is the job being done, but it's done right with quality parts, with highly trained technicians. All of our technicians are ASE certified. We have several master techs, which is the highest you can get in the ASE. And ASE is a program that certifies people to the top level of their industry in car repair. We want people to feel comfortable. We never twist people's arms. Like I said, it's about quality. We want people to be happy. We want them to come back. We want a good name. You know, we're customers of other businesses. We wanted to be treated right, so we'd like to treat our customers right.
American Import Auto Repair, Johnson City. Call today at 913-3111. Kingsport Cabinetry installs cabinets and countertops all over the three-state region. Owner Richard Isaac says there is no charge for his quotes.
All of our quotes and drawings are free. I know a lot of the national chains, big box stores and stuff, and I understand they have to charge a price to come out and measure and do a quote, but here at Kingsport Cabinetry, we do all that for free in hopes that our service is good enough. I always tell people this, Tom. I say, you can go anywhere in this town and get a product like I have, but find somebody you're comfortable working with. If you're not comfortable working with me, find somebody you are comfortable working with, but I can guarantee you we'll give you the service. We have a full shop back here that we do custom work, and I'll just move on a little bit. We get into commercial work. We do a lot of commercial work, a lot of healthcare, a lot of restaurants, banks, schools, things like that too.
Kingsport Cabinetry. Call Richard Isaacs today at 247-6134.
If you're catching some waves or just playing in the yard, it is important to protect yourself. You may not feel the sun's heat, but UV rays can still damage your skin even in cloudy weather. Blue Lizard Sunscreen, recommended by pharmacists and dermatologists nationwide. Our SPF 30-plus formulations use only the highest quality ingredients for broad spectrum protection. As a reminder to protect yourself, our bottle turns blue when UV light is present. Blue Lizard, we've got you covered. Back on the Tom Taylor Sports Show, we thank you for being with us again on this Tuesday. Hard to believe it's September 1st. Good grief.
Hello.
There he is, my man, Jim Klein. Jim Klein Farmers Insurance here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. And just saying it's September 1st. Is it just me, or yesterday it seemed like it was Valentine's Day? This year's flying by, isn't it?
It was Valentine's Day. What are you talking
Lord.
about?
We're in the world this year gone. We're with Klein again, our buddy, a big old tall drink of water from Farmers Insurance, and we got lots to talk about. Let's get started again. A lot of colleges have just gone back to school, and you may have a young person that you're in charge of that's going off to school, living off campus, and you better make sure that they have the proper insurance with the landlord. Otherwise, they can be in real trouble if a fire or something happens, right?
Exactly. Fire theft, water line busting, how's the property insured, just like you said, get with us. We'd love to talk to you. We can extend coverage off of our homeowners if they're in a school-sponsored housing. But when they go off campus and they start getting that apartment, or there's three of them in a house, or whatever they do, they need to get proper coverage. They need to get renter's coverage to protect themselves, again, in case there was a fire a water line bust, or someone came in and stole their items. Things do happen. Things do get picked up sometimes. So that's something that we would love to just sit down and talk to people about and explain how their current coverage can help them, or if they need to get additional coverage.
Talking to Jim Klein Farmers Insurance, one of our great sponsors. It's Life Insurance Awareness Month. We all need life insurance in one way, shape, or form. Tell us about that.
We just wanted the opportunity to sit down with you, see what you do have. You may have some through your employer, and that's great, but, how much do you have? Can you buy additional through them? If you were to leave that place or retire, most of them, it doesn't go with you, so you should own one on your own. Because things like that change. I had a gentleman not too long ago that got laid off, and he found out that when that happened, he no longer had life insurance. And so then, he had to start qualifying, because as we get older, we do get into medical issues. So it's always great to have one. So myself or Tim Carr would just love the opportunity to, first off, let's see what you do have, and let's see how it operates. So you're going to have to do a little bit of homework. But we do need to make you aware of it, because, Lord forbid, if we didn't make it home from work that day, what is going to happen? The mortgage payments still need to be paid. As you said, we have kids in college. We still want to try to help them with that. Car payments, power bills continue to come. And this gives the family the time to grieve and to get themselves in order, and then decide to proceed on. So we just would like the opportunity, and the Life Awareness Month is just to bring that to people's attention. Let's talk about it. Let's get a plan. Let's put the plan in place. And here at Jim Klein Farmers Insurance, we can customize the plan to meet your family's needs.
247-5400, the number to call. Again, he writes insurance. How many states do you write? Obviously Tennessee, and where else?
Well, I do Tennessee and Virginia. We're licensed in both states. Of course, Farmers is throughout the United States. So if I have someone that has property elsewhere, we can assist in helping them try to get it, whether it be down in South Carolina or Florida or whatever. We can try to assist people. Just like you said, I had a lady that her daughter went to school in Florida, and they wanted to register a car down there, so we helped her get some auto coverage down in Florida and tie it all back in so we can protect it underneath their personal umbrella policy, and we'll be glad to help people with that. But I am licensed in Tennessee and Virginia to take care of all those insurance needs.
Without naming names, of course, talking to our buddy Jim Klein Farmers Insurance. Give me some scenarios you've been dealing with this week in different situations, be it homeowners or automobile. Give me some different scenarios you've been dealing with.
Well, this is what we talked about. We talked about the one call to get things done and get the ball rolling. We had a family that was coming back from South Carolina that got in a horrible accident, ended up in the hospital, needed to get a claim underway because they've got medical bills coming in. We needed to get them back to the Tri-Cities. So that then they can start dealing with the rest of it, and the automobile that was damaged. And at the time they had no idea who really hit them and what hit them and how they were insured. But here at Farmers Insurance, we were able to go ahead and get their claim underway, get their car settled because it did total out their car, so they could go purchase another one. And then now we're helping them start the process claims with the other carrier to get some other items taken care of. So we talk about that one and done. It's one phone call either to our agency or, Farmers has the great support of the 800 number 24 hours a day, 7 days a week anywhere in the United States to kind of get things underway. We just don't know what's going to happen.
We're talking to Jim Klein Farmers Insurance. Next week, got a little shindig going on over there at the office. Now, Sandy, your secretary, has already told me that if I come, I'm only limited to about 4 or 5 little wieners that's dipped in that barbecue sauce and then watermelon balls.
Yeah, we got to watch how you are. And it's actually this week. It's actually Thursday. We're having Customer Appreciation Day. So please stop by and see us. Whether you're a current customer or a potential customer, we'd love to meet you. Love to talk to you. Staff, of course, all going to be here. We're having some people from claims stop by that's going to visit with us to answer questions as well. And, of course, we do want to bring the Life Awareness Month to everybody's attention. So we're trying to do that on Thursday, and I think a small chance of rain, but it's just a small chance. But we're going to set things up inside and have a little tent outside just to greet everybody and host them here.
All right, so here's a $100,000 question. She told me to come next week when it's this coming Thursday. I guess that tells me a lot right there, doesn't it? She
was trying to save a few hot dogs for herself.
She told me it's next Thursday. Well, that's good. I'm going to show up. Nobody's there.
Well, that's next Thursday, meaning the one coming up. It's Thursday here.
That's a story of my life. Boy, you can tell you're loved.
I know.
When
of course, if anybody's ever seen you, they know that you might eat 10 hot dogs before we ever get you to stop, you know.
You're right. I love to eat. We're talking to our buddy Jim Klein for Jim Klein Farmers Insurance. Hey, before I let you go, two things. What do you think separates you from all the other agents around the area, and what separates farmers from the other insurance companies around the area?
Well, you know, both scenarios, we're here to take care of the people. You know, we had a comment made from XYZ company that from a customer that's looking to come to us, so they had a problem. Same thing with another carrier. Someone hit them and caused damage to them, and they offered them no assistance in filing a claim through that other carrier. You know, as we always talk about, we can help you file it through the other carrier, or we can file it against your policy. Tennessee state law says we've got to handle it within the parameters of your policy, but we try to explain that. But we do want to help people, no matter if it's with the coverage that's under us or coverage through someone else. And farmers do the same thing. They want to help people. They want to get people back where they belong. If they have damage to the car, we want to get it fixed. If it's total, we want to get the money to them so they can get it replaced. If a house needs repair, we want to get it repaired. And that's what farmers is. You know, it's customer service. It's getting it out. It's getting the response. You know, a claim was filed the other day. The person was in our office. Before the person could leave the office, they were getting a call on their cell phone. Sandy just went online, got the claim filed for them to get it underway. They're getting a phone call saying, here's farmers, here's where we are. We're going to get an adjuster. You know, what took place, start getting the things, and then they got an adjuster signed out to go look at the automobile to get it fixed. So that's what we are here for. We are here to help and advise and guide people to, again, customize a program that meets their needs and to explain to them how their coverages work and operate. And that's what separates us. We're here to assist and help make people's lives a little easier.
And you do it every day, 247-5400, except I can't come over and get any hot dogs next week because it won't be, but I can get there Thursday.
We might put one or two in the freezer for you and reheat them in the microwave so we can limit your input. Yeah. Please stop by. Please stop by.
When is it again on Thursday? When's the open house?
It's Thursday from 11 to 2. I'm standing up because I got to make sure that I get all these dates right. I'd sure hate to mess that up.
And it is located where? On Center Street in Kingsport, correct?
Right here, 1309 East Center Street. We're right near where Center and Wilcox intersect.
Yeah, right close to Renaissance Center. Not that far from it.
Not very far at all. Little white house, can't miss us. We're right in that little area. So 11 to 2, please stop by. We're going to have hot dogs, chips, drinks, cookies. You know, everybody can have what they desire except for Tom. We have to limit Tom, because he'll be here at 10:45 waiting, and so I understand.
With a
We
check.
love you, Tom. We love you.
I love you too. With a checkered napkin around my neck, going, "Where's the hot dogs?" I'll be ready for that. So, hey, I'll see you Thursday. All right.
All right. Take care.
Yeah, great job, my friend right there. He's been handling my insurance for about I don't know. Gosh, I'd have to go back and look. At least 20 years. Again, Jim Klein Farmers Insurance. He gets her done. I can tell you that. I've told you the story before. Was driving to the previous employer radio station back in the day and got T-boned driving to work one morning about 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning. Guy ran a stop sign and hit me as I was driving to the station, and there I am with the car totaled at 5:30 in the morning. I called him, and I got him out of bed. He said, "This better be good." He says, "Off early. This better be good." And he was laughing. I said, "Well," I told him what happened. I'm not kidding you, but 9 o'clock I had a rental car. Now, somebody said, "Well, you're on the radio and they're going to make exception." Nah, that's how he does it. That's why he wins all the awards. It's customer service. All he wants to do is take a chance in quoting your insurance, be it homeowners or life insurance. As you heard him say, it's Life Insurance Awareness Month, or automobile, or you name it, renter's insurance. If you got a boat or a motorcycle, of course, he certainly writes that kind of insurance too. So all he wants is a chance at 247-5400, and he'll do the rest, and it speaks for itself. He does a great job, and we appreciate him very much. Our buddy Jim Klein for Jim Klein Farmers Insurance. Another college saying they're going to name their starting quarterback. Chad Kelly will be the man. Former Clemson quarterback turned junior college standout during his brief time with East Mississippi Community College, will be the quarterback for Ole Miss in their season opener against Tennessee Martin. We told you earlier, Grayson Lambert's going to be the starting quarterback for the Georgia Bulldogs. That was announced earlier today. Also, we gave you the report where Urban Meyer said he's going to platoon two different quarterbacks there at Ohio State when they play Virginia Tech on Monday night in Blacksburg. So Brandon Harris named the starting quarterback for LSU, and as we told you, it will be a dual combination of Barrett and Jones for Ohio State when they play as we told you, getting ready to hook up and play the Hokies on Monday night in Blacksburg. What else going on? UCLA, young man got in trouble. Ishmael Adams arrested on robbery charges. Again, the starting cornerback for the UCLA Bruins, arrested on UCLA's campus and charged with robbery. His bail set at $100,000. And so I don't know what he stole, but it apparently was a lot. He is still in jail, being held on $100,000 bond. A first-team All-Pac-12 defensive back for the Bruins last year. Again, not good to have him both for the school and for this young man who's in a world of hurt, obviously. Again, still being held in jail on a $100,000 bond. That would be, again, Ishmael Adams, the defensive cornerback for the UCLA Bruins. Tom Taylor Sports Show, again, football rankings and polls are out this week. And it goes as follows. Let's revisit these because it's worth talking about. 6A, Maryville, number 1. Science Hill in at number 5 this week in the state. Dobbins Minute ranked number 10. Honorable mention, Bradley Central. That'll be the opponent for the Hilltoppers on Friday night. We'll go on air with the broadcast at 7 o'clock from Bradley Central High School. And we'll do that, of course, thanks to Blue Lizard Australian Sunscreen. So Science Hill 5th in the state this week. Dobbins Minute 10th in the state in 6A. In 5A, Oak Ridge number 1 now. Morristown West in at number 8. They're up a notch this week to number 8 in the state. In 4A, Greenville falls from number 2 to number 3 in the state. Sullivan East gets an honorable mention in 4A football. Congratulations to the Patriots. In 3A football, CPA at number 1. The Elizabethton Cyclones, they're at number 8 in the state in 3A this week. In 2A football, the Hampton Bulldogs at number 9. Sullivan North at number 10 from our region. And in single A football, Cloudland gets an honorable mention again today and this week for the 1A Cloudland football team in 1A football around the great state of Tennessee. Your schedule sports-wise today locally, volleyball, Science Hill plays at Crockett today. Dobbins Minute plays at Tennessee High. That'll be, of course, inside the gym there at Viking Hall. You have Volunteer at Sullivan Central. Elizabethton's ladies play at Unicoi County. Sullivan South's Lady Rebel volleyball team at Johnson County. Sullivan North at Sullivan East tonight. And in Virginian volleyball, Rycove at Union. Twin Springs ladies play at Hurley, and Wise Central at Castlewood. We'll bring you up to speed with all that coming up again tomorrow. Let you know who won and how things went. In soccer, big day today. Weather's going to be very nice to be outside for soccer. You have Science Hill playing at Daniel Boone, Elizabethton at Sullivan South, Dobbins Minute at Sullivan Central, and Tennessee High at Crockett. And girls soccer action today. Also in golf today, you have two matches going on. You've got John Battle, Lehigh, Ridgeview High, and Gate City at Raven Rock Country Club. And also you have today at Country Club of Bristol, Tennessee High and Dobbins Minute in a dual match today. And then Thursday, the Big 7 Conference Golf Tournament at Buffalo Valley. They start earlier than everybody else, and so they're playing the Big 7 Conference Golf Tournament at Buffalo Valley coming up on Thursday. So that's a big event, obviously, for the Big 7 Conference and the boys golf. And, of course, the two front runners, and usually are year in and year out, are the folks from Science Hill and the golf team from Dobbins Minute. What else going on? Anything else you want to know about? Absolutely. We've got some running events coming up you can be a part of. The next one coming up is the 36th Annual Eastman Road Race coming up not this weekend, but next Saturday on the 12th. It'll be next Saturday the 12th. The 36th Annual Eastman Road Race begins at 9:30, and the Blue Cross Blue Shield of Tennessee 2-mile fitness walk at 10:15. The run itself at 9:30. Again, go to eastmanroadrace.com to find out more about that. Also, you have in Gate City next week the 4th Annual Hope House Breakaway 5K race to end domestic violence next Sunday, starting at 2:30 in the town parking lot on Water Street in Gate City. Early registration now is $20, 25 day of, and so you can, again, give them a call at 276-386-1373 is the number to call. 276-386-1373 to find out more about that one. And again, the first one coming up, the big one, will be on Saturday, the Eastman Road Race, and then on Sunday, the 4th Annual Hope House Breakaway 5K race to end domestic violence a week from Sunday in downtown Gate City. That's some things going on around the region. Again, we want to remind you we've got 3 coaches show for you to view coming up on Wednesday, every Wednesday at noon. You go to YouTube and type in the coach's name. In this case, Stacy Carter Coaches Show. That'll be up tomorrow at noon. Just go to YouTube and, again, type in Stacy Carter Coaches Show, and it'll pop up. Also, the Graham Clark Coaches Show, the head coach of Dobbins Minute. Again, go to YouTube, type in Graham Clark Coaches Show, and it'll pop up there. And then also, as we said, we shot our first Sean Witten Coaches Show today with Elizabeth and head coach. And, again, go to YouTube and, again, type in Sean Witten, S-H-E-A-N, not S-H, S-E-A-N, and then Witten, which is W-I-T-T-E-N, S-E-A-N, Witten, W-I-T-T-E-N, Sean Witten Coaches Show, and it'll pop up for the Elizabeth and head coach as well. So 3 of those, and it's out. New show's out every Wednesday at noon. You can enjoy it, and a lot of folks do. We appreciate that very much, and that, of course, is growing all the time as well, and we're all about that. We appreciate the growth of the show and the shows. So, again, tomorrow, coming out at noon each week, brand new show tomorrow, 3 new shows for Stacy Carter from Science Hill, Graham Clark from Dobbins Minute, and Sean Witten from Elizabeth. And simply go to YouTube, type in their name, whichever coach you want, or all 3, and sit back and watch. They're all half hour in length, and they're pretty good shows. Those coaches are very, very good. They're very informative, and they are all about praising their kids, which is what I'm about too. Quick break. Our final break. We'll come right back, and we'll carry on here again on this Tuesday afternoon. First, we'll hear from our buddy Tim Copenhagen, the good folks at Champion Chevrolet on the Bristol Highway Motor Mile in Johnson City, one of our new sponsors here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
Trucks, and more trucks. At Champion Chevrolet on the Motor Mile in Johnson City, we have Silverado trucks everywhere with discounts up to $11,000 off MSRP on select Silverado All-Star Crew Cabs. 15 Spark, $10,995. 15 Sonic, $12,995. 15 Track, $17,995. 15 Equinox, $20,995. Shop us online 24/7, and don't forget our Saturday service hours. Champion Chevrolet on the Motor Mile in Johnson City, where they leave you asking, how do they do that?
It's time now for exciting 2015 Science Hill Hilltopper football. Tonight's game is brought to you by Champion Chevrolet, Select 7 Credit Union, American Import and Auto Repair, Sims Pizza, Bracken.
At American Import and Auto Repair in Johnson City, one of the 8 areas of your vehicle that takes constant continuing education is the air conditioner on your vehicle.
Well, you would think that AC would be a simple one, but it's getting to be a lot bigger than just AC. It's the management of the system, not just AC, but heat and everything. It's a lot more computer controlled than it used to be. It used to be just a little button on the dash that you pushed. Now there's all kinds of electronics involved in that. Braking systems used to be fairly simple. Now some of the newer vehicles, you have to have a computer to actually operate the braking system to make sure that it's okay after you've worked on it. Computer controlled of the engine is becoming very important. There's a lot to that. Each one of these areas, the technology is just tripled and quadrupled in the last few years. It's hard to keep up. You really need to stay in the books and know what's going on with them.
American Import and Auto Repair, Johnson City, open 6 days a week. Call today at 913-3111.
It's Friday night at 7 o'clock. You've been involved in a car accident. You may be out of state on vacation or just a few miles from home. What do you do? Who do you call? At Farmers Insurance Group, one call is all you have to make. Hello, this is Jim Klein, an agent with Farmers Insurance. It's called One and Done. You don't have to wait till Monday morning to file a claim. You can make the initial call, and we'll begin right away to help you. We assist you in moving the vehicle to a certified repair shop, getting you set up with rental car, and informing your agent. Then here at the staff at Jim Klein Farmers Insurance, we follow the claim through to the end. It's that easy. One and done. We're your one and done location for all your insurance needs. Auto, home, life, commercial, workers' comp, and bonds. We can help you with all your insurance needs. Give me a call today, Jim Klein Farmers Insurance at 247-5400. Your one and done location in Kingsport, 247-5400.
Kingsport Cabinetry installs cabinets and countertops all over the 3-state region. Owner Richard Isaac says there is no charge for his quotes.
All of our quotes and drawings are free. I know a lot of the national chains, big box stores and stuff, and I understand they have to charge a price to come out and measure and do a quote, but here at Kingsport Cabinetry, we do all that for free in hopes that our service is good enough. I always tell people this, Tom. I say, you can go anywhere in this town and get a product like I have. But find somebody you're comfortable working with. If you're not comfortable working with me, find somebody you are comfortable working with. But I can guarantee you we'll give you the service. We have a full shop back here that we do custom work, and I'll just move on a little bit. We get into commercial work. We do a lot of commercial work, a lot of healthcare, a lot of restaurants, banks, schools, things like that too.
Kingsport Cabinetry. Call Richard Isaacs today at 247-6134.
Ways where your kids play basketball and ride their bicycles, to the parking lots at your local church or grocery store. Bracken Paving is an important part of many neighborhoods in our area. No matter how large or how small the job, Bracken strives for excellence in every service they provide. It's a foundation for a strong community. Discover the difference at Bracken Paving and Asphalt Maintenance. Give us a call or visit us online at brackenpaving.com.
Thank you, Tommy Wyman, the great folks at Bracken Paving and Asphalt Maintenance. Over my shoulder here, you'll see that scoreboard says, kind of hard to see, but it says 10 correct answers. That'll be 11 tomorrow. We'll do a little Elvis trivia tomorrow. She's been chomping at the bit to do this, and so we'll make it very painful for her tomorrow. Painful being, of course, our buddy, the Apester we're referring to, so we'll have that for you tomorrow. Again, right here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show from 11 to 2 tomorrow. Hey, tomorrow night, East Tennessee State students, faculty, and staff, you're invited to celebrate the return of football tomorrow night. Big pep rally. Yep, going on tomorrow evening, and it's going to be happening on the campus of East Tennessee State. Bonfire pep rally and Bucky revealed. I say that right. Members of the community are invited to celebrate the return of football during a bonfire pep rally and Bucky reveal on Wednesday. Okay, scheduled for the evening before the first game of the new football program. It'll begin at 8 o'clock in the parking lot number 19 tomorrow on the campus of East Tennessee State. Coach Carl Torbush will speak and introduce ETSU's new Bucky mascot. ETSU football players, cheerleaders, and the marching band will also appear. It's going to be pretty cool. Parking lot 19 is located off Jack Vest Drive between the physical activity and the physical plant on the west end of campus. So pretty easy to find. Just look for the crowd tomorrow night. Coach Torbush and the folks will be there ready to go. And he says it's going to be a great, great football game, and it will be. The Bucs will be fielding a much younger team than Kennesaw State. The Owls took in a lot of transfers to start their football program. They have 5 seniors and 17 juniors on the roster, including 11 upperclassmen on their 2-deep. The Bucs have 3 juniors and no seniors on the roster, so they're a young football team. And Coach Torbush says he's right. The only way we can get old is to mature in age. That's what we plan to do for the next few years. So what I want our guys to do is go out and play as hard as they can, make plays, make sure they look like a well-coached football team, make sure they control what they can control. If all those things take care of itself, we'll be productive and have a chance to win the game. That's all I ask for any of my players. So, again, that'll be coming up. Tomorrow night is the pep rally, again, at 8 o'clock on the campus of East Tennessee State. Parking lot 19 at 8 o'clock tomorrow night. Coach Torbush will be there. The players, cheerleaders, and the marching band will also appear tomorrow night. Again, the Bucs, I didn't realize how young they were. They have no seniors on their football team. Wow. 3 juniors and no seniors. Everybody else are freshmen and sophomores. That is a young, I didn't realize that, young football team. Kennesaw State, a lot of transfers. They have 5 seniors, 17 juniors. They're a little bit older. But, again, they've never fielded a football team at Kennesaw State. So, anyway, one of the injuries, doesn't talk much about injuries. But, again, Adam Mitchell, the very talented freshman from Tennessee High, nursing an injured knee, wouldn't play this week. There's a good chance he won't play at all this season. Pretty tough knee injury to Adam Mitchell, young man who's an outstanding player in his heyday at Tennessee High. By the way, the game is a sellout on Thursday night. The game is a sellout for East Tennessee State. They are putting 500 standing room only tickets on sale this week. They'll go on sale tomorrow night at 7 o'clock at the pep rally. So if you want to go stand and watch ETSU and Kennesaw State play, their standing room only tickets are going to begin to sell again at 7 o'clock at the pep rally. Kennesaw State doesn't know what they're getting ready to come into. I'm sure they have an allotment of tickets to their fans, but again, ETSU, they've been talking about this for 12 years, getting this back. I'm going to get on my soapbox real quick and pay tribute to a gentleman who really went a long way in getting this bike going. That is Dr. Jerry Robertson at East Tennessee State. A lot of other folks wanted it to die or was going to say, we'll just let it kind of die off. He wouldn't let it happen. He continued to pound the drum and do whatever it took to keep the interest alive till we get some traction, as they call it. And they obviously did with, of course, the new president, Brian Nolan, all about bringing back football, which is a tip of the cap to him. And see, it's more than just football. Here's tomorrow night's pep rally to show you a case in point. Marching band is back. You know, they got rid of it for a while. They had it was a pep band. Now the marching band is back. Of course, cheerleaders have been there, but there's more cheerleaders than the football players. All that translates into money for the university. We have all these kids coming to ETSU. So Jerry Robertson will never take the credit he deserves, but he went a long way to making sure football came back at East Tennessee State. He is a former trainer, now retired, trained a lot of people in sports medicine that have since gone all over the country. So let's hit it for him. Jerry Robertson is a class act, Dr. Jerry Robertson, or Doc as they call it. And, again, this has been his mantra for a number of years to get football back at ETSU, and he's doing it. And, again, big pep rally tomorrow night, 8 o'clock pep rally. If you can be there, that'll be a place to be. It's going to be a lot of fun. Again, at East Tennessee State, parking lot 19, located off Jack Best Drive between the Baszler Center for Physical Activity and the physical plant on the west end of campus. It'll be free tomorrow night. Players will be there. Coach Torbush will be there. The new Bucky mascot will be there. Cheerleaders and the marching band will also appear. All that coming up tomorrow night beginning at 8 o'clock on the campus of East Tennessee State University. With that, we're about out of time here. Yep, we are. We're just about out of time, or we are out of time. We certainly want to thank you for yours. Going to be back in here tomorrow with a brand new show. Can't wait. Hope you'll come back with us. Again, want to say thanks to our guest today. We had Jim Klein, Jim Klein Farmers Insurance. We also had Sam Jones talking about that big fireworks show literally next weekend at Bristol Dragway. Also Doug Fritz talking about high school football from the Johnson City Press. Bill Robinson, the head men's basketball coach at Milligan College, joined us today. And Bob from Book Lovers Warehouse got it all started. Again, Bob telling us that he's got about 10 or 12 brand new books on hunting and guns. So if you're interested in hunting and guns to use to harvest squirrels, rabbits, whatever, he's got 10 or 12 new books in at Book Lovers Warehouse in Johnson City. Again, on 11E between Johnson City and Jonesboro for you to take in and enjoy. So with that, we're out of time. We sincerely thank you for yours. Hit that music, Hot Rod, and let's roll. There we go. Thank you for giving us a listen and a view. And tonight and this afternoon, we'll put it up on podcast on iTunes, TuneIn Radio, Stitcher phone app, and also YouTube. And for all the guests, this is Tom Taylor again telling, as always, win or lose, be a good sport. Thank you for being with us, and we'll check back in with you tomorrow, same time at 11 o'clock from 11 till 2 right here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Until then, as always, we'll say to you, so long, everybody.